Good there on this Monday night. My name is Scott Schertzen, alongside Mr. Brandon Kay and, of course, Mr. Obie Spencer. And this is Streampunk Entertainment, Monday Night Football reaction, rambling, and commentary as the Seattle Seahawks visit the Washington team. We got a lot of things going on with this case, a lot of things to break down, both inside the world of football and outside of it. Boy, a lot of stuff outside of it today. But I want to talk to you guys about what's going on in there. Drop us questions, thoughts, ideas, compliments, or complaints, whatever you've got. As always, you can find us on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also Twitter as well. But without further ado, gentlemen, how are you guys doing today?
I got to tell you something, gentlemen. I'm doing great. It's very rare that we get a Jets and Mets, enjoyment, something positive during this time of year, and it happens to fall during Hanukkah, so that's very great. How are you guys?
This is part of your 8 days of presents right here.
After that ridiculous intro.
There we go. I'm great, of course. This will be the last episode of Streampunk Sports here on Streampunk Entertainment during No Shave November. So next time I will have less facial hair. Remember,
y'all still do that?
Yeah, Streampunk. Yeah. Remember that this is all about men's health, which in this case means those of us with prostates. And prostate cancer is dangerous. It got Steve Jobs. That means you don't have enough money to beat it. So get yourself checked. Also, tomorrow's Giving Tuesday for those of you who have charities you'd like to give to and money left over after Cyber Monday. Make sure you hit that up. Oh, and there's a football game that we're watching. So that's enough of me promoting good things. Let's watch some guys smash into each other at high speeds.
Exactly. But Heineke just threw the ball over the top, so he's over one passing. He threw it in a double coverage and a throw that was a little high. So it was a questionable throw there. It could have possibly been picked off, but instead just fell to the ground complete. So right now we are sort of underway. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And the important question for you gentlemen, is how was Thanksgiving?
Mine wouldn't end. Yeah, mine wouldn't end. It just kept going and going. But it was good. Lots of food. Still have leftovers. To the point where today my son went to school, his friend called, and he gotten stuck at school, and he didn't get to go home in time to get back to school for what he had to do. So he brought that kid to play the food, and I didn't even notice that it was missing from my house.
Yeah, mine was a little more minimal, but actually, no, that's not true. Thursday was probably 3 different dinners and meals, so that was a little bit bouncing around. And then after the weekend, that kind of slowed down and settled down. And here we are on this Cyber Monday.
Yeah. Basically, Amazon's going crazy right now, and I don't know. I never bought into.
Do I know?
What's that?
Oh, do I know?
Yes, I would imagine you do, and basically, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Right now, we've got Russell Wilson under center, and what may or may not be his swan song in Seattle. I did not actually puke myself. I did, however, gain 6 pounds, which is the fastest 1 week gain I think I've probably had in my entire life.
Yeah, I pushed myself to the brink.
My problem is my father doesn't understand the concept of, when you bring lots of dessert, you leave it with the host. So my wife and I had, amongst other things, 5 half-gallon containers of ice cream, 2 cakes, crumb cake, a fruit bowl, and it all stays here.
Wow.
So I've already had a conversation with him about Christmas. It's like, taper that shit back, man, please.
Yeah, you already have to give him some limit.
Yeah,
that sounds really good, though.
Oh, yeah. But it was okay on this side of the fence mostly.
61, just like folded.
Yeah. Already, basically, I would say Washington's already punted at this point. Seattle's got a 3rd and 9.
Oh, right on the ankle. He's done.
We've got a lot to go into in this case with Seattle's future, Washington future, baseball, ton of signings today. Oh my God. Scherzer coming east, Robbie
Or
Ray going west.
departures, or if you're the Dodgers, a lot of departures.
Yeah, I was going to Seager actually staying, going a little further south, but a little more east. Yeah, a ton of moves today in baseball. Some news in hockey, some news in football also, as Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, tested positive for COVID, and he will be out for Thursday, meaning Dan Quinn is going to be taking over the reins for Thursday night.
Cowboy fans rejoice. Maybe.
Dude, you know what? That team is on a spiral downward. They lost 2 straight. They're 7-4 right now. They're still in the first place, but it's not as secure as it used to be. And I think, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the fact that after this week, the Washington specifically go, I think it's Dallas first. They go Dallas, Philly, Dallas, Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Throw the Giants in there. So after this week, it's all NFC East the rest of the season for them. So in that bottom of that outside looking in, where they have a chance to do damage within division, climb up the standings, and sneak for hopefully that last wild card spot.
Well, if Washington's able to win tonight, that's huge because they would be in a record tie with, I think, Carolina? Well, Carolina too, but Atlanta.
They would have a tiebreaker over them, being that they just beat them in Carolina.
So Carolina lost this week, but again, it's amazing to see what Cam Newton is doing over there.
As bad as the Cowboys have looked, I don't think you can ignore that they've had wide receivers out for various reasons that when they come back, they should be at full speed. I think that is a huge thing. I know they've been on TV, so I've watched wide receivers just dropping passes that have been in their hands. The bigger issue might be the defense, with both Lawrence and Gregory injured, because their offense was fine this week, but their defense did not do the job for them at all. On the other hand, even as good as the Eagles have been, if you look at Hurts's numbers, his completion percentage has been awful the last few games. They're not, and they had that was a horrible loss to your Giants, Scott. I mean, that was just
that was a horrible win by the Giants, a horrible loss by the Eagles. It was just horrible all the way around.
Yeah, I was here watching the game with Zerk. He was over, and it was just, oh my goodness, it was sad. I'd be like, he would come in and go, oh, the Eagles in the red zone again. Oh, okay. Oh, how about they don't come away with any points? It was just atrocious. And, when a game when it rests with a quarterback that looks rough and you're the team that's with the quarterback that still looks good, you don't feel all that nervous, I think, if you're a Cowboy fan. Dak is looking fine. And teams that can run the ball is what I've sort of seen in the NFL in recent years. Teams that can run the ball can win games because defenses are not built to stop the run. Mm-hmm. So you can go ahead and win some football games because people aren't designed to stop you. But when you run up against teams that are designed to stop the run or can put up a lot of points, you can't catch up. And that's what scares me as an Eagles fan is they can run, but I don't know how they keep up with the Cowboys, which means that they're already 2.5 games behind because they lost the tiebreaker. I'm not sure how they beat them when they face them again, because if the Cowboys get up on top, I don't know how Hurts brings you back. As much as I love Devonta Smith, Rager and Whiteside are a problem. They are, yeah.
Cowboys have been good the last few years in December. If I remember right, I think they're like 14-6 in the last 5 seasons in December, which is a vast departure from what that team used to be.
Changing quarterback.
What's that?
Changing quarterback.
That's a part of it too, sure. But in this case, I think that could, in theory, help them if they can right the ship against the Saints on Thursday. Curiously enough, it is, in fact, their second straight Thursday night game. But what happens here is going to be huge because of the fact that, again, Washington has the potential of being in second place in the East and putting pressure on a suddenly vulnerable and now without their head coach, Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a 3rd and 1 at this point.
I have a feeling with Dallas, though, because over the course of this season, the defense as a whole has been more of a solid cornerstone of the team as opposed to McCarthy as a head coach of the team. I think being that Dan Quinn now temporarily is going to take command of this team, I think it might provide a spark. And I'm leaning towards that happening rather than continuing on this kind of downward trajectory that it's slowly starting to gain momentum. So they better turn it around quick because this division lead can slip very quickly.
Sure. I mean, the Giants are on a 1-game winning streak, man. You know, they got a new offensive coordinator. You know, they won by 6 at home.
I was in the city earlier today. And I gotta tell you, man, place was buzzing. It was life. You felt it in the air.
Not where I was. Where I
How
was.
were you? Well, I was right by Central Park, so there's always life. There's always life there. But I don't know, man. It was. Ooh.
Yeah, I was in Brooklyn, so.
So I know you are what your record says you are, but they put up a stinker against the Broncos. They came back with they recovered nicely to beat the Falcons. They then lost to the Chiefs, who are beginning to look like the Chiefs again. And with defense,
there's really no shame in that still.
Right. And then they lose to the Raiders, who have lost some stinkers, but we're good. Like, I don't know who the Raiders are. Do you know who the Raiders are? No, the Raiders don't know who the Raiders are. And so it's hard, you know, and then you look at the rest of their schedule. They should beat the Saints. If they beat the Saints, they get the Giants. That's 2 games right there. And then, you know, Washington, the Eagles sort of control their own destinies against the Cowboys, even if they lose to the Cardinals. So I think the Cowboys control their own destiny, even as long as they beat the Saints, because they get a lot of NFC East
Great
teams.
pass over the middle is now the Washington team is now in Seattle territory, by the way.
The Washington football team, which I'm very happy with the banner you have up for our backdrop here, so I can remember. I can remember the name of the team as we talk, because I will inevitably call them by their old racist name.
The the red epidermis.
Yes.
America's
or you could have kept the name and made the symbol a potato. I mean, that was the other.
The red potatoes. You know what? That actually sounds like a college team.
I was saying this since this whole thing started. And I hadn't seen it in any, because you've seen like red wolves and they were like hogs, and you've seen all these kind of ones that have been recirculating. I thought it could have been very simple. You could have just done natives. You still,
I think that's still a little tough.
You don't think?
Go there.
No,
you think?
No, I think that would be a little tough. You know, I think in this
isn't
case,
isn't the whole thing Native American? So especially if you wanted to keep. You know,
I don't think
Native's not going to work though. Yeah,
I think you have to get away from any Native American connotation whatsoever. Even so, we have some teams that use Native American names that are not derogatory, and people are still offended by them. Whereas the Washington football team used a name that was probably derogatory, and definitely wasn't going to get away with it.
You know, I think even if you named it like, you know, the Sioux or the Apache or anything like that, that probably wouldn't work either.
Yeah. That's why I figured if you were going to still kind of go with that historical aspect, that if you just umbrella.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that, but I don't think it's going to work.
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to completely move away from it.
Yeah, which also, like I said, will bode for what the Chiefs and the Blackhawks ultimately end up doing as well. You know, what's going to happen there, which is probably going to be something different as well. I mean, the Chiefs could be, I don't know what would they work as? I mean, they got like, you know, they got a
ribs, kind of the Kansas City ribs.
Okay. I mean, with the color scheme they have, I could possibly say maybe something like Sunfire. You know, with that red and off red. Red.
Like I was saying, that kind of looks like a barbecue sauce color. So like the ribs.
The ribs. And here we are. Well, see, Heinz Field is already, A1 Stadium. All right, there we go. Here we are at A1 Stadium as the Ribs are taking on the Cowboys.
Or KC brand. Isn't KC brand the name Heinz KC brand?
Calm the sunshine.
Kansas
KC
City
in the sunshine. Come on. And here we are, and let's welcome in the band. It's KC in the sunshine. By the way, at this point, 17-yard line, first down and 10. Washington is moving forward. Stop passing the ball to McLaurin. I need you to actually have a crap day today.
So you and I are on completely different sides of this McLaurin issue today.
Yeah, okay. Let me just say this. I got to get this out of my system. Do you know what it takes to potentially or very probably lose to a guy who not only started 2 guys on the IR, but benched Fournette? Because he's one of those guys who's won 1 game and stopped paying attention. I'm about to lose this week.
I've had Fournette a couple of years, and the first year I had him, I was so frustrated because it was so hit and miss with him.
Same.
And then I've kind of stayed away from him in multiple week sets. Like if he was available, like I'd pick him up for a week and then drop him and just avoid the whole kind of picking and choosing whether to put him in the lineup or not.
Yeah.
He's always been so hit and miss.
But he's been more hit than miss of late. Ever since Tom
especially
Brady
in Tampa. For sure.
Tom Brady's had such an impact on that team. But now it's first down and goal. 5 minutes left in the first quarter, so we're kind of flying pretty damn fast here. But inside about the 7-ish yard line, handoff and picked up about 1 at most. Seattle, obviously, in a very weird situation right now, looking up at every other team in the division. I wanted to get your thoughts on a few things here. I was posed a few questions yesterday I wanted to have you guys answer. Russell Wilson, do the Giants go after him?
I think they should.
Here's the thing about the offseason. You don't do the Giants go after him? The answer to that question is yes, absolutely. Do we know about it? I don't know. Like, that's the thing. We don't always know what really goes on in these off-season meetings. We hear reports of one thing that's happening and don't hear reports of other things. So whether it will get reported to us, I don't know. But if there's 6 or 7 teams who aren't going to go after Russell Williams.
Coach.
Yeah,
he wants an offensive coach.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be available. I think there's 6 or 7 teams at most who wouldn't go after Russell Wilson. The Giants are not one of those teams.
Here's where I feel a few questions when it comes to Russell Wilson's future. I got asked earlier in the week. I got asked what would I accept as a trade in this case? Would I give up 2 first-round draft picks as a Giants fan for Russell Wilson? And I said no. I said 2 first rounds in return for a second or a third and Wilson, or a first and a second. I would say yes. But you're looking at a guy right now who is struggling in Seattle, kind of wants out. His wife is Ciara, who honestly I think could really, really thrive in the New York limelight. And the Giants as a team have not had that badass leader since Michael Strahan. They haven't had that oh shit guy where you're like, he's there. Eli Manning was a good quarterback, but he didn't scare the crap out of you like Michael Strahan would, or in some ways Russell Wilson could. They haven't had that intimidating factor there. And I think the Giants need that to get back to credibility again.
Now, the question is, if you're Russell Wilson, who has, you kind of control your destiny here. I don't know how much you control your destiny, but you control it enough to you can either pick a team, or you might be able to pick a team, or you can definitely demand a trade and go anywhere, in which case you lose some control. And I don't think that's what Russell Wilson's looking for. I think he's looking to kind of keep control here. I don't know if he wants to code the Giants. The Giants have some interesting weapons. I don't want to say they don't have weapons. Ingram's never lived up to the hype. Barkley is injury prone and does not look to be the explosive and cutting running back he came in as. Slayton, the receiver they just drafted, and Shepard are a decent receiving crew. They're not an amazing receiving crew, but they're not what you're leaving if you're leaving Seattle. So, they have work to do to entice him to come. I really think that the primary place that the two quarterbacks, if they are going to leave their teams, being Rodgers and Wilson, is going to be Pittsburgh. I just think that's where they're going to end up being their primary location. Doesn't mean they're going to get there. Doesn't mean that Pittsburgh wants them. It's just those are the places I think are the places they're going to start.
Mm-hmm. Brandon, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm thinking if I'm Wilson, the Giants are a fairly enticing option. They're more of an offensive. Well, they are an offensive-driven team as opposed to defense with Seattle. I think the Pete Carroll thing is really Russell Wilson is over it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he and then the whole kind of Ciara aspect of it. All the reports are she does want a big market. They want a big market. I could see it. I could see it happening. I mean, you definitely even if you just look from an offensive line standpoint, you're telling me that Seattle's offensive line recently and the Giants have been so different that Wilson wouldn't be able to do the same exact thing, even if the Giants' line is bad. And they have been better as of late. So I think, the Giants, I would probably say, I would say are the number one option. But I had just a thought.
But
you mentioned Pittsburgh. What if we swap them? What if the Giants go for Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson to the Steelers?
Are you asking me or Obie?
I'm just throwing it out there.
I actually prefer Wilson in Pittsburgh than Rodgers, to be honest. I really love the idea of pairing him with Harris. And giving him a strong defense again. A coach people don't always know the secret to their own success and failures. I think Russell Wilson pairs great with the defensive coach. The difference is that in Pittsburgh, they are willing to let their quarterback cook, so to speak, where it seems that sometimes they decide to rein him in here in Seattle. But then again, maybe they know something we don't know. Look, let's look at Stafford. Okay, he was great, but then he started having turnovers. Turnovers were a problem he was experiencing in Detroit also. There was
3
just so much
games with pick sixes.
Yeah, there was just more there was just more problems in Detroit. So it wasn't all him, but still there was problems.
My thought on this is basically looking at the two. I would rather have Russell Wilson than Aaron Rodgers as a Giants fan. Because I think he's personality-wise more built for a place like New York City. Aaron Rodgers is also 37 years old. Russell Wilson, I think, 32 or 33. The question that I have and the problem that I've got is the Giants don't have any cap space until 2023. Then they get a bucket load back. They get like $93 million back, something like that. But next year, they haven't got squat for salary cap space. So they would have to restructure that deal if he's going to come. But if he does, it's instant credibility, much like Kerry Collins was, where you're like, okay, you've got a guy who's solid. Metcalf with a huge catch right now, 20 to the 30, down to the 20, to the 10, and just outbound. Wide open. I don't know who blew coverage on that, but my God, he was wide open. Nobody around him by 10 yards.
You're going to see the top of the screen here, 29.
Yeah.
No, it's Lockett.
Was that Lockett or I thought it was Metcalf?
Yeah, Lockett is 16.
All right. I thought it was.
See, you're telling me Russell Wilson wouldn't be able to do that with Juju and a Chase Claypool or even a Kadarius Toney and a Sterling Shepard. Excuse me.
I like Wilson in Pittsburgh more, but I also like Wilson over Rodgers. I agree with Scott 100%. Look, Rodgers is having trouble with the national media and the Green Bay media.
Mm-hmm.
That man, I don't know what he's thinking about because he's talking about California. He's
from
he's
there.
probably but he's probably better off sticking in this small market if he wants to be this guy that he seems to want to be. Sticking his foot on the table. I mean, not even these things don't even. I want to be clear.
I would argue
me,
Pittsburgh is on this I would call him a small market rather than a big market.
No, Pittsburgh's definitely a small market. I agree.
Yeah,
Green Bay is.
I was a medium, but all right.
Well,
Green Bay is smaller.
In Green Bay, it's smaller, but in football, you're either big or small. I don't think there's such thing as medium because teams get picked up on the national and there's probably not a area that has less local media that has more national media than Green Bay for football.
I don't see him thriving in New York. I see a Brett Favre sort of a situation.
I agree 100%. I think he gets eaten up in New York. Yeah. I do.
And like I said, I think Russell. Remember, the New York Yankees traded for Russell Wilson. Granted, it was spring training, but they had enough faith and enough trust in him to be like, he can handle the New York market. As Lockett just gets the first touchdown of the game, and now we're up 6-3. Oh shit! Oh, I love it. He pulled a leave into the stands, and a fan just shoved him out.
Hey, get out of here!
Oh, that is so awesome.
You're not allowed in here. We ain't asking for you.
Hero.
Oh, that dude is going to be instantly beloved in Washington. That's going to trend on Twitter, just like the Baker Mayfield.
First off, though, who's that?
Yeah.
Dude, first off, though, he has some nerve trying to do some half-ass Lambo leap on the road like that.
But dude got shoved out of the stands, man.
Yeah, good for you. Good for that guy. So, I would say upgrade that guy's seat, but
to where?
The sideline, and give him one of those big over jackets that
he gets on the bench. He gets to go on the bench.
I've always wanted to wear one of those.
Upgrade that guy to on the bench.
Dude, really. I love it.
Look at this.
But, yeah, and that dude just gave him a full hard shove. Which, by the way, talking about was trending on Twitter, and I mentioned this before. Baker Mayfield. Did you see that fumble?
No.
Can I please pull
I
up?
Actually did not.
Pull up the fumble?
Oh no, I did see it. What are we talking about?
Yeah. Don't. By the way, don't give it up. I just want to basically.
Okay, I believe it's in line with a certain Jets quarterback, although not the same.
No. Don't even dare disrespect Baker Mayfield to that level. There is nothing worse than that.
No,
I'm sorry. There's nothing.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think Baker Mayfield is not the fumble, but tell me honestly, there's certain things about they're so similar. Granted, one was a number 1 pick, one was just the first. They are so similar. They have moments. They're inconsistent. They have turnovers. They don't win the game for you. They need defense to even be respectable. They're having them on the team. You think they're a playoff team. They're not. I mean, they are so similar. Mayfield and Sanchez. It's crazy.
So you're saying Baker Mayfield is this NFL today's Mark Sanchez?
I'm starting to feel that way. Yeah, I'm saying that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Mark Sanchez got further in the playoffs than Baker ever has.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. But that might be a compliment to Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so if we put Baker Mayfield on those Jets teams, what are they doing?
I have no idea.
The same?
Probably worse, because I've heard Rex talk. And Rex likes Sanchez more than he likes Mayfield. He does not like Mayfield. He has lots of questions about Mayfield.
No, Rex had this insane fantasizing.
Fetishizing?
Not fetish. No. Okay. Yes.
Fetish?
Yes. That is what that is. Basically fetishing over Sanchez to the point of permanent ink.
That's fair, yes. So,
That's my quarterback.
all right, let's pull this puppy up here. Like I said, this was last night. I watched this when it happened, and oh, dear God in heaven. So I got it on slow-mo right now, pulling this guy up. There
I'm
we
on
go.
frame by frame.
There we go. So, like I said, they got the slow-mo going. Back to pass, and just decides the ball's going to go backwards.
Yeah.
Look, it wasn't
By the way,
There's no way. There is no
wasn't
way
even
that is
a butt.
worse. That is
Yeah,
no way that is worse than butt fumble.
He just
It's not
dropped
worth
the
the
ball.
butt
It's like,
fumble.
I am done playing for the day.
It's
Here you
not
go,
as
Lamar.
bad as butt fumble, but in some ways it's worse. I'm going to say this. In some ways it's worse because the plan was for Mark Sanchez to run the ball, and he ends up running to his own guy. Fine, but that required a team effort to make that fumble happen. This one was all on him. First
Pull
rule as a
up
quarterback
butt
when you're throwing the
fumble.
pass
Let's
ball,
see that
hold
for
onto
old
the
time's
damn
sake.
ball.
So
What's that?
Let's see butt fumble for old time's sake.
Butt fumble is worse because it doesn't happen every season. But I promise you, you will find a quarterback just drop the ball every season.
Yes, 100%.
But that one was terrible.
No,
But I also
butt
want to
fumble
point
is
out
the
that
worst fumble of all time. I don't care.
you're probably right, but this one, honestly, I think possibly can get a bronze medal out of it.
I think butt fumble is overrated.
All right.
I think you're crazy.
Well, he's a Jets fan, so you got to take it personally in this case. Much like as a Giants fan, you look at Miracle in the Netherlands, won or the
Yeah,
sequel.
exactly. I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst fumble of all time.
Right.
Yeah,
You're trying to win something. You haven't seen them win anything in your lifetime.
So
lot of
I
people
want to
watch
hang
it.
my hat on this awful play.
Yes.
That's what
yes.
it's come down to.
Yes. You know.
The Jets need a badass too. I mean, they have nobody that's actually intimidating over there either, like the Giants don't. You
honestly,
don't have that oh shit guy.
Honestly, Andy Chavez's home run robbing ice cream cone catch is the greatest play in baseball history, but they lost the game and didn't make the series, so nobody remembers it.
But
oh no, oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, that was awesome. That was a double play.
Yeah, speaking of, on the more positive side for a suffering Jets fan, although ironically we're all wearing green today. I guess maybe.
Yeah, we are. This was totally planned.
Yeah.
In my case, just celebrated Hanukkah, and now we're all wearing green for Christmas. But in your case, you got some new additions for your baseball team. Are we feeling good right now?
No.
No, I don't. No.
No.
They just dropped a buckload of money on Marte and Scherzer and
what do I know?
That Scherzer deal is beautiful because it gives look 3 years is perfect. If it doesn't work out, it's over before the pain really sets in. If it does work out, you got 1, 2, or possibly 3 years of Max Scherzer. So
buckload of money, but again, it's not going to be like the Lindor deal, which is going to be 9 years to go.
Yeah, see, I like a bucket load of money all in a short period of time because it's like it either works or it doesn't, and you're not straddled with it, right? You're Cohen.
I'll have kids in high school by the time that deal is done.
I'll have grandkids actually.
I won't, but there we go. Put that in. So we just started
9 years. Yeah, I'm not rushing anything, but it's pretty conceivable.
Well, that's between you and
the possibility timeline wise is possible.
Sammy's a good-looking dude. He is, but
he's 20. I mean,
you got that mulatto thing working. That's really,
right.
he's not a pasty bastard.
Hey, a lot can happen between 20 and 29 years of age.
Yes, some of it on purpose. Oh my.
Yeah. That passed. So now
my.
Back, throwing a little bit deep, and I think it's going to be overthrown. Yeah. But a flag on the play, probably going to be pass interference.
How does that ball end up being thrown so accurately?
It's the best pass you're going to see all night.
Like he caught it in such stride.
Boom.
So far we've got a good one. Last night was kind of boring as crap. Ended in 13-10. Giants Eagles was 13-7. So far, we're off to a good start on this one. I'm liking it. Want to also point out that last night, Lamar Jackson not only threw 3 interceptions for the first time in his career, he threw 4. And that's some cause for concern in Baltimore because he's never thrown more than 8. Now he's at 12. And they still have another 5 some odd games to go.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned that Cleveland can't win after forcing 4 turnovers.
Also another point. I mean, granted, they had 2 of their own, but the problem, I think, is basically Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so even still being +2 in the turnover differential, being +2, the odds should still be in your favor.
Sure.
A little Hunger Games reference thrown in there.
Yeah, Hunger Games.
Well, that was terrible. Yeah.
By the way, Henneke is 8 for 10 for 41 yards pass. That's some impressive numbers right there. 2nd down and 10. He's back. Throwing screen pass. Might pick up a couple, but 1 yard if he's lucky. Yeah. But, all right. So moving along pretty quickly, which is nice because Brandon and I have to get up early at this point.
Yeah. There's nothing like that first week after Thanksgiving where everything sets back into a little sense of normalcy before the Christmas really sets in.
What's funny? I was thinking about you with this too, with Amazon. Because of what the U.S. Postal Service is doing, as we're suddenly getting topical for a sec, Henneke throwing deep down the sideline and just out of the hands. Nice. McLaurin did not catch that, which is what I needed again for the fantasy league. But now that the U.S. Postal Service is delaying packages between 1 and 3 days to make up apparently a $160 billion deficit that they've got, that's going to put more pressure on FedEx, where FedEx Field where this is playing, and to a degree, maybe even you as well.
Yeah, we haven't heard of anything of overall delays, so the expectation is just to be grinding and pushing and grinding and pushing.
Yeah. Now, do you drive the truck?
What's that?
Are you inside the facility or you drive the truck?
No, I'm a driver.
All right.
I'm a man of the
Appreciate
people.
you guys, by the way. I do.
I'm a man of the people out there.
How do you
neither rain nor snow nor gloom of night?
Actually, no, it's funny you say that. Actually, it was probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I was in Suffern and Airmont was my route, and it hailed out of nowhere to the point where I was forced to pull over and I took my break, my lunch, because I couldn't drive in this. It went from I don't even remember if it was just a sunny day, but it was just a regular, quote nice day, and then this hail that were literally almost the size like actual golf balls, and you couldn't see 5 feet in front of you, and then 25 minutes later, sunshine.
But for that 25 minutes, basically, you can't see squat, and you're driving a big old thing.
No, and we get a lunch, so it's like I literally pulled over, and then that was my lunch, and it ended up working out time wise because it just lasted this insane hail. Storm is an understatement. This was a hail invasion. This was insane, but I think if it's the winter though, they said if it's really bad, we'll have a snow day and not have to come in because it's too ridiculous. It's too much.
Sure, it's a tough job though. I mean, Amazon's one of those weird places where everybody hates Amazon until they see a deal. They're like, "Oh crap, I want to take that."
Yeah,
it's bizarre.
Yeah, if everyone hated me, I wouldn't have a job.
Yeah.
So
people are like Amazon sucks. Bezos is riding a penis rocket. Oh shit, I can get that tomorrow.
No, I don't think there's one connected person internet wise that if they haven't messed with Amazon in any way within a year or two, they will be. By default.
And of course, basically, everybody has that Amazon Prime account that mysteriously has like 9 different addresses on it.
Yeah.
And speaking of that Amazon Prime account, if you have it, this would be a good time for you to subscribe here at Stream Punk Sports. For you use that Prime, you get a discount.
Yes.
So go for it. Subscribe,
that is correct, sir.
comment, and let us know what you're thinking, either on Twitch or Facebook or wherever it is you're watching us.
Yes, especially all you guys on Facebook right now, because Facebook, ironically, it's weird. Facebook, I think, is the most popular venue for this show. I don't get why, but I watch the numbers constantly.
It's the metaverse.
And Facebook
is metaverse.
Well, yeah. Now that Facebook is called Meta, we'll call it Meta in this case. But the numbers for this show,
Facebook's not called Meta. The company that owns Facebook's called Meta. That's different.
I'm sorry. I apologize for the incorrection on that.
Well, if you say
okay, someone. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what Meta. It's
to be fair, I say metaverse, which is
that works. That's fine. That I know what you're talking about.
By the way, Obie? I think you should start drinking water because that diet's a little salty right now.
Hey,
yeah,
I keep you honest. That's my job here.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're that tech personality that's like, okay, well, this is actually incorrect by 0.38, degrees.
You're like, oh, no, this is that, and this goes there, and this. Like, we get it. It's meta.
Yeah. It's not floxy. All that floxy noxy nihilopilification. How's that? Going to use big words. We'll throw that shit in there. Heard that word again today and forgot about it. Russell Wilson with the rollout and wide open. All right. I think that picked up the first. No, they're calling that short. So it'll be a 3rd down and 1. But Seattle's driving. Seattle to me has always had a bit of a soft spot. I've always been fond of them a little bit. When I was in high school, I had plans of moving out there, but.
For me, it's always more of a Russell Wilson thing rather than Seattle.
Yeah, I just don't want the team from the NFC East to win.
I could give 2.5 hoots about the team, but Russell Wilson I like.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I think he could do really well in New York for a bunch of different reasons. And again, the fact that the Yankees traded for him, just to have him as a second baseman during spring training, I think just brought this weird energy to the Yankees in this case. They didn't trade much because, again, it was spring training, and he only did it to really keep in shape. But it shows the potential that he has. And I've seen that guy. You watch that guy throw a first pitch. He throws a first pitch at like 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, Steve Cohen will sign him.
Yeah.
Get that third arm in the rotation.
Well, yeah, now at this point, now that you've lost Thor, 4th down and 1, they're going to punt the ball. Obie?
Who that fake
bad idea.
What's that?
Bad idea.
Who Goldilocks with his hair? He can have it on Venice Beach. Go ahead.
California, he is so prime for that.
I can't. Russell Wilson. This is the end of Russell Wilson with the Seattle Seahawks. This punt right here, and then they go on to lose the game. I'll be right back. I got the answer a door.
Okay, I'll close that out in the meantime. There we go.
I've been in more Mets games the last 2 years than Syndergaard has.
It's a shame, But I mean, listen, he got 20 or 21 million to go out west. I don't blame him in the least for taking it. But it's funny because look how quickly people forgot about him once the Scherzer news started passing down earlier today. My concern with that team is not the pitching staff; it's the offense. I think they were.
That was my thing too. Like hearing that, I was like, as hyped as I am about the whole thing with Scherzer, it's like great. Well, Scherzer's not going to hit 310 for us with 110 RBIs, 25, 30 home runs. Like we still need that guy in the lineup.
And I'm assuming I don't think the universal DH is kicking in next year, is it? Actually, it's theoretically coming in. So
I don't even know if they're going to try and get it under this new CBA.
Yeah, well, who knows what's going to happen there as well. But I like what the Mets are doing. The Yankees are staying pat, but the Mets are just going full throttle into this. And that's why I also think the Giants could get Russell Wilson. Because with the fact that Gettleman is probably on his way out, There's going to be a new GM who's going to want to make a statement like Cohen did with the Mets and just be able to show this is my team. And I think that could be something that the Giants would be able to do, just like Cohen's been able to do with the Lindor deal and everybody he's brought in. McCann, I think, a catcher as well. You need to make show your team. But but that
it definitely, if he doesn't say so, there definitely is some like stick him to the Yankees aspect of it in terms of headlining and really trying to sway the gravity of New York baseball to Queens rather than the Bronx. So,
sure.
There definitely is. And you kind of have the same thing with LA, where you have the cross-sport kind of pressure, where these owners and teams, management feel like they have to compete with each other, even if they're not, like they're literally not in the same league.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to monopolize for those headlines.
And LA is worse because you have the college teams in there and now you got Lincoln Riley with USC. So sure. I mean that whole town is even more so open with college and professional teams, even though New York has the area kind of, I guess, have more pro teams.
But let me ask you this: do you think LA or New York has the higher percentage of rabid fans? I got to go with New York on that.
Yeah.
So they may not have as many casual fans, but they got more of the devout, hardcore fans there. LA has got, LA has nice weather all year round. So they're not as focused in front of the TV as they would be here when it's 15 degrees and snowing out. By the way, Washington is facing a third down at this point, 10 minutes left to play. They're down 7-3. All right. Just got a message that J.D. Walker will be on forthwith. But we're looking at a third down and 3, just under 10 minutes left to play. So far, again, not a bad game overall. But Washington.
We didn't do picks. We didn't do game scores.
Oh yeah,
too late now.
I mean, it was pretty close last night. For last night's game, it was pretty damn close.
All right. Well, all right. I'm gonna throw a 27-21 Washington out there.
All right.
No, Seattle's looked much like the better team throughout this game already, so I'm going to stick with Seattle to win. But they're home, so let's give them by 7.
All right.
Yeah, you haven't been drinking that Heineken, have you? You're not a believer.
I'm not a believer.
There we go, and that's mine as well. Throw that in there, and here's my official pick for moi. But Washington did get the first down here. I like what Seattle has been able to do thus far.
Yeah, I mean we're picking a little late.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's only because we forgot to. And
yeah, that's okay. We got we're talking about, like I said, there's a bunch of stuff in the news right here. So
and there's plenty of
passing from McLaurin. Stop passing to McLaurin, damn it. So right now, Washington, like I said, this is shaping up to be a decent game. Last night's game was terrible. There was literally 5 turnovers in the last half of the second quarter. It was, one side, then the next. It just kept going and never ended, and it just made for a really lame game. Again, 13-10 national television. Lamar Jackson throws for 2 picks. Cleveland had 2 turnovers themselves, including the aforementioned Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I got to actually hold on to the ball. It's like someone played a Madden card on that. All right. Right now, about 8 minutes left to play. Carter took a huge a helmet to the ribs there too. That hurts.
Yeah, way to go, Jamal Adams. Good job.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry for your loss. Well, we all are wearing Jets green today, mostly though.
Yeah,
I'm wearing Eagles green. For the record,
I'm wearing the green that I wore when I played soccer as like a 5-year-old because I was the green team.
Oh yeah, we were good.
Yeah, were you on my team? Bill Maffei was on my team.
I was on several teams with you along the way. I couldn't tell you which ones though.
I'm sorry. You know,
See,
anytime
though,
you
with
got-
your blue hat, though, Scott, you're repping for both.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you see, you're spreading the love for both teams.
Yay, New York team. I remember
Yay,
we had
New York sports.
we had a kid on the team that would later be able to do sideways pull-ups, where he could hold himself horizontally and just do pull-ups with it, and it was just sick to watch. I don't know whatever happened to that kid, but anyway, 7 minutes.
Which kid is that?
Bill Maffei. I watched him do that in gym class. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Scrambles and
Wow.
he takes. Yeah, he dodged that. I like his legs like I like Lamar Jackson's legs.
Old David Blaine escapism right there.
Yeah.
Houdini.
They use David Copperfield, but kids don't know who that is.
Yeah, does David Blaine do escapism, or does he just do
I don't know.
pain stuff?
Oh,
I don't know. Houdini escaped, so he's that I know for sure.
except for that one punch he wasn't prepared for.
I'll take you every time.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe go to the doctor afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, it might help in that case. Oh. Somebody's down. Oh, it was bad shape, though. Somebody on Washington is down. And this is not like a soccer flop either. Yeah. So, as they go to commercial, and I think we have the new trailer for Book of Boba Fett, I believe this new trailer is.
Hyped.
Yeah.
Hyped for that.
Dude, there is so much cool shit coming down the pipeline in the next few weeks. Yeah. We got this, we got Cobra Kai, Matrix, Spider-Man.
Do you hear about these Spider-Man scalpers?
Mhm.
Have you heard about this?
They scalping tickets.
There's some that have surfaced online. $25,000.
For Spider-Man? No, thank you. You know, no, 25. Are they getting it? And I mean, what else comes with that? Does it have a free plane ride?
For $25,000 for No Way Home tickets, like I better get the movie theater to myself. I better get personal concessions right in front of me, masseuse, and then like all the actors got to be with me though.
Oh yeah,
That's like I understand scalping for things but like the movie ticket for that's some next level like skeezy shiesty stuff.
I remember when Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace came out, people waited online for upwards of 2 months to be able to see it. How they felt about it afterwards, I can't say. But I can't imagine dropping 25. I can't imagine dropping like 250. I could be willing to do that in that case. 2,500, no. 25,000.
Why would anybody want this glass mat?
So why would anyone forget that? I want to talk $2,500. This is not a concert.
No, 25,000.
25,000.
250. Why would anyone want to do that? You just come on.
I can see somebody doing 250.
I was going to say 250. I could see, because honestly, with ticket prices now, and especially if you make a whole date night out of it, you're going to end up spending $150 anyway.
Sure.
Over and above the 250 that you could just wait till tomorrow to see it. I bet you though it is a whole theater. I bet you that's what you're getting for that.
You better get a hell of a lot more than that.
No, I literally think it's like people that have like
because you don't.
No, like don't want to have like scalp like 2 tickets. Like they're not even like they're all the way in the back of the theater, like actual like regular tickets that you would go up to a AMC and get, and you would pick your 2 seats, like that kind of stuff. Not like any fancy, like what I was just saying.
It's got. Well, I can't even go to a theater around me that doesn't have assigned seats anymore.
By the way, it looks like eBay pulled that. I saw the ticket listing, one for $25,000, another listing for $4,500. The $25,000 one, the link doesn't work, so I wonder if eBay actually pulled it.
Yeah, that one I think was the one that really was the news.
This I've got, though. This is interesting. There's one in Indiana on December 16th for $4,500. It is sold. It's no longer available. The listing ended. So somebody dropped $4,500 to buy a ticket, a single ticket, to the new Spider-Man movie. Holy shit.
Wow.
Dude. Oh, God, no. Hello. I mean, how many BitTorrents are out there? Not that I actually, to be fair, I'm well lost on the BitTorrent world. Heineke throws him deep over the middle, and the ball is picked. Tipped up in the air and picked by Seattle. 4:40 left to play, and Seattle's got a chance to be able to make this.
Heineke spilled the drink. Damn.
Nice. I see what you did there.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I really wanted to joke and be like, who picked it off? Jamal Adams. And then Jamal Adams catches it after it bounces 25 feet in the air. But let's see, that was that.
But as always, drop us a question if you got any thoughts, comments, ideas.
Let's see. Can we get a it got Bobby Wagner tipped it right before it fell into his. Yeah, it's just a nice defensive play.
Oh yeah, there was nothing that basically that's not Heineke right there.
Yeah. Kins.
Well, he throws into double coverage, does he not?
Yeah, but still, that's a catchable. That was a partially catchable ball.
He threw it into double coverage. Yeah, he threw it into a well-blanketed guy. So to say it's not on Heineke is.
Yeah, but if he throws that a split second sooner or harder and it gets into his hands and he catches that, we're gonna praise him on how great of a play that is.
If he does.
So
no risk, no reward type play.
If he does, but he threw it to the guy who was double covered.
Mm-hmm.
And when he goes over the tape in the film room on Monday, well, today's Monday, on Tuesday.
Or possibly right now even.
Yeah, he's going to see he threw it to double coverage, and that probably means somebody else was open on the outside.
Yeah. Double coverage across the middle, yeah, probably.
I'm going to try and close this out and open this again. But right now, 4 minutes left to play. That could be a good chance for Seattle to burn out this clock and get some points on the board at the same time. They don't. I believe Seattle gets the ball next start of the second half as well.
I don't remember who kicked off.
Yeah, I believe Seattle kicked off.
I think you're right. Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, as always, drop us a message if you got any thoughts, any comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Let us know what you had for dinner tonight. I don't even care. We already talked about our Thanksgiving at this point. Yeah, I'll put that back up. All right. Wilson starting off 11-yard line, 4:40 left to play in the second quarter. Seattle is up 7-3. And throwing for everything right now. Deep and caught. Oh, see, that's a nice catch. But again, another catch by Lockett. Lockett's been off to a good start so far this half. Leftovers. Oh God, yes. We still. I think we finished all the meat leftovers in the veg. There's still.
Yeah, we're starting to get to the end of the leftovers.
Yeah, so I'm going to toot my own horn here.
Go for it.
I smoked a turkey this as part of my nonstop Thanksgiving week, and even day two, it was still moist and juicy. Just want to let everyone know that.
By the way, is that a euphemism for something, calling it smoking a turkey?
Not around Thanksgiving. It's not now.
Oh,
if you ask me,
they just up.
Yep, that was a terrible fumble. You know what? In a weird twist, if that ball was recovered, he would have gained like 8 yards.
There's a flag though.
There is a flag though. Great hit by Collins to knock that ball out.
In the middle of July, yes, it is. It is a euphemism, but back to the play.
Yeah,
Flag.
Seattle definitely lost that ball there, but I don't know what the flag is yet. Is that a face mask? No. The face mask would negate, but
It
he
would.
went across the bottom.
It looked like he tugged a little bit on the side there, like.
Oh, that would be a horse
Yeah.
collar. You're talking.
That's not a horse collar. He definitely has his arms wrapped around him.
Washington has the ball back at their own 27-yard line with 3:52 left.
They probably waved away the flag because it probably was. I mean, you could call but it's not a horse collar.
Yeah, I guess they took it away. Yeah.
And how do you not recover that?
Yeah. But it was a lot better than that one turnover. If you remember they had against the Giants that one time.
This Heineke's got some real nice escapability. He's mobile.
He does.
He is a nifty mover.
So 3:46 left. Seattle has 2 timeouts. Washington has 3 at this point. 1 foot, 2 foot. Yeah, he's got both in bounds. I think they're trying to review that real quick.
That shouldn't. Why is that up for review? Like 2 feet in,
It's just the two of them talking about it. That's all.
One and he dragged. What are we?
Yeah.
She was watching the other side of the play.
But clock's running down, so this may be, depending if Washington can pull it off, this will be the last drive of the half here.
That's probably short.
Yeah, 2nd down and 1, but right at midfield now too. So they got the handoff and stopped and probably taking a loss on that for a yard or 2. So now it's facing a 3rd down. All right, Ob. If it's 4th down and 1 at midfield, 2 minutes left to play in the half, do you go for it?
I'm already still fuming over the punt earlier by Seattle. It made me leave the room, if you recall. But no, you're not punting here. No.
No.
I think they got the 1st down. It's close, but I think they got it. I did mention you on the show a little bit last night, about they officially signaled 1st down, about whether or not to go for it, punting and how you would react in that moment.
Yeah,
5 seconds.
They had one punt that was so bad it made me leave the room. Let's hope we don't have another punt like that.
First off,
those punts.
Can we acknowledge the Jets kicking is so atrocious? It's
well, you got them on that side. The Giants have Roses though. He hasn't been bad. Although
good evening, gentlemen.
And good evening, Mr. How are you? And one of these kids is not wearing green.
Way to mess it up.
Good job, JD.
Yeah, jeez, you couldn't even.
You couldn't take a peek at what was going on before you came on.
Damn.
You know what? One of these kids is not like the other. So.
One of these.
Yeah, but only one of these three is one of these other 3 is a Jets fan, which is why this is completely unexpected.
Well, you got
2 of you are Jet fans.
2 Eagles fans.
But I meant one of you 3.
I'm an Eagles fan. I got my Eagle green.
I came out with this with sunglasses and I was all woo.
Funny part is I actually meant to change before and I forgot that I got it.
I like the look. It's a nice look for you. So, but right now, 2-minute warning at this point. Washington is trailing 7-3, but midfield and driving. And how was your Thanksgiving, Sarah? Did you manage okay?
Thanksgiving was good. It's had to do 3 different gatherings.
Yeah, 3 here too.
But no family drama, no weird oddities or anything like that?
Family drama was relatively light.
Okay. He said to see relatively there.
Yeah, I mean, there's always an amount to be expected, but we saw Steph's dad one day, my mom on Friday, and then my uncle, who lives not far from here, came over here on Saturday, which he usually doesn't go out much, so that was nice.
Fair. Nice. So at least he's not alone in this case.
Yeah.
Now we had both my parents and my mother-in-law were at the house, so it wasn't overall bad. Overall. So.
Keyword.
Yeah, exactly.
I did hear the stream for a little bit with the Mets signings today.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on that too, because obviously you got to be either massive amount of trepidation or cloud nine. I don't know which way you are. Trepidation
mostly. Okay. I don't know if it's just from 20 plus years of watching this team, and knowing all the history before that, but just. It finally hit me, and when I messaged the group chat before, the reason why the Max Scherzer thing doesn't feel right to me is he's a 37-year-old pitcher who just had dead arm in the playoffs. That arguably was a factor in LA not coming back in the NLCS, but also it reminds me too much of the Tom Glavine signing.
Okay. Oh yeah, good point.
You sign a future Hall of Famer at the tail end of their career, hoping you could squeeze a few more good years out of him. But ultimately, the tail end of that always bites you. It bit the Mets. Glavine, it ended up putting up the worst start of his career, to finish the final touch on the Mets 07 collapse.
But I was going to say, he had a couple of good years with the Mets there.
He did have a few good years.
The 06 year was great.
Yeah, he had a very good year in 06. In retrospect, was everybody's last good year.
Mm-hmm. I would even argue that with the Yankees as well. But yeah, overall, for his time, the 5 years that he had, 3.97 ERA.
I mean,
bad win percentage,
and that's a big terrible. That's a big difference because that's 5 years versus 3. I mean,
sure.
The age is different, I'm sure, as well, but still.
Yeah.
Like I said, 3 years is going to be painful if it's bad, but it'll be over soon.
Plus, I would argue Scherzer is regarded higher, even now in his career, than Glavine was at that point. I would say.
I'd say they were roughly equal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many Cy Youngs has Scherzer won?
3.
2,
Great.
I think.
Great.
Weren't they going to rename the award the Tom Glavine Award?
Well, that was the thing. For the entire decade of the 90s, the NL Cy Young Award was handed between the three of them in that rotation between Smoltz, Maddox, and Glavine. Glavine, I want to say won 4 or 5 of them. Well, total. He won the only reason he didn't win more is because Maddox won just as many.
Right now, he went incomplete on 3rd and 9 was the most recent.
Yeah, I was going to say right now there's a flag on the play. They're calling it now. 1:27 left, holding on the defense. So that's going to give Seattle. Washington's going to get the first down there. So that's going to give Washington some new life, and they're still rolling at this point.
Yeah, it's right after that big sack. So.
Yeah, Seattle holding on Amati. They're showing the replay right now. A little pushing and shoving there after the 5 yards. That's tough. That is a tough penalty to take, though.
Yeah, especially when your other choice was a sack.
Yeah, but again, it gives Washington brand new life now. Just under a minute and a half left in the half, and 2 timeouts, so they got a lot going. No problem.
I admit Heineke has played better than I expected. Even though it's still not that great, he hasn't been. I expected him to be one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, but he hasn't been. He's actually held his own.
He's had a feel good season. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
that's a solid yank on the right shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah. He does scramble for about 6 yards there. The clock keeps running. He might have taken a little bit of a hit though, from behind.
These guys, they take hits. That's what they do, Scott. I know that sometimes the hit's the last hit they're ever going to take, but other times,
There's another flag though.
Just to get back to the Mets, Glavine only has 2.
Okay.
I think Maddox had 5. That was probably why.
Maddox had 5 with like 4 straight.
Yeah.
By the way, offsetting penalties on this, so that scramble for 7 or 8 yards, whatever it is, got negated.
Good. Maybe he'll throw it to McLaurin.
Oh, you got McLaurin on your team too?
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so, I got McLaurin going for me. Scott's got McLaurin going against him. I need McLaurin to really pick it up here, but really a touchdown, a 140-yard touchdown will really do it.
Yeah, I have McLaurin on my team.
Right about McLaurin last night. So.
I have McLaurin on my team, and my opponent has Metcalf. So
and we got a Braves fan in the house too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, the Braves.
Yeah. World Series champion, Atlanta Braves.
Who? What?
This shows how little I care about baseball. I don't hate the Braves anymore. After I hated them growing up, for what they did to the Mets every year.
I gotta be honest too. Like, I don't have a hatred
pass
for the Braves.
Gonna like that.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like to be like Freddie Freeman, I personally like a lot. I think he's fantastic. Not even as a player, but just like as a guy for the sport of base. Just, I'm a big fan of his. I don't.
I too.
I would only say the Phillies and Nationals I have hatreds for, especially division-wise. Marlins,
Man, you are showing your age.
Yeah.
You're like wearing that on the Phillies. The Phillies.
But here's the thing.
I hate the Phillies.
Even with Yankee Nation, the Yankees don't have the animosity for the Red Sox and vice versa anymore either. It's like all these bitter rivalries are just like.
I would not say that about Yankees Red Sox is still a big deal.
It's still the biggest one, but it's not as strong as it used to be. And probably
I would say nowadays, like the Giants, Dodgers, or even the Padres, Dodgers, Giants, that trio of rivalries, I think today is more intense than the Yankee Red Sox.
Could be.
Well,
if not equal, I don't.
Dodgers San Francisco is pretty rough. I mean, physically pretty rough.
Yeah. I mean, when it involves people physically getting beaten to death, that usually.
Yeah.
Well, like you're hearing something like literally almost every season.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm just watching it as a Yankee fan for 30 years. It doesn't have the same rivalry and passion that it used to. It's still probably the biggest one on the East Coast easily, but there's no, like I said, there's no animosity or contempt. There's no fights breaking out. Probably because the Yankees were basically loved the fact that they were hardcore, and they've pretty much been crap the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how
10-5 and Washington's first touchdown of the game. So that leap, however, was embraced, unlike the last one.
Yeah, I agree, Jerry. Dodgers are run down, and this even during the playoff run, I thought that I kind of had a feeling like this would be LA's last shot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
they were going what? How many years were they in the NLCS losing? I mean, it was like 5-6 years of deep playoff runs with heartbreak up until the World Series win.
Yeah, I mean they made I want to say this.
It's taxing.
This was a 5th year in a row, I think, that they made the NLCS.
Loving it.
Especially where you have the same core of guys in coaching.
Oh, dude.
He misses.
Oh, I'm so happy. Dude, you guys are a few seconds behind, but you got to check this one out.
No, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, I love it.
Wow.
So happy. When you got the offensive lineman rumbling down the field, 70 yards, whatever it is, to score 2 points there?
Seriously? Pop-up came up on my computer that I have the TV connected to right as they were running.
Yeah, great block there. Who was
Yeah,
it?
this Windows update thing popped up right as so I missed the lineman running because of some software update thing popping up.
It wasn't as funny. I mean, it was a defensive lineman, probably defensive end. I mean, the man was moving.
I love it. I love it when I watch him take it off.
All right, here
Yeah,
we go.
he got a perfect deflection and a perfect bounce to jump right up. Right
you never see linemen score. Almost never, especially not on the blocked field extra point.
No, that
I still think they should have given the Dolphins the offensive lineman. That should have been a touchdown. Come on,
no, it shouldn't have been.
That was too great.
It was not great. He should not have caught the ball. No, it was not great. It was not great.
That play reminded me of that play from The Replacements. where the ball's tipped up in the air and then the guy ends up, and then the sumo wrestler runs up in his hand.
Come on, you're telling me that play that didn't make you feel happy? That was a fun play. That put a smile on my face.
There was an offensive lineman who scored a legitimate play like that the next weekend, and nobody cared as much on the legitimate offensive lineman touchdowns they did on the illegitimate offensive lineman
because it wasn't good enough.
I mean, Jumbo Elliott still is in highlight reels, 20 years later.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was on the game we watched. The man leaped. The man caught a bad pass with a huge leap, like a 3-foot leap. I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about the guy on the Dolphins. Why?
By the way, this is how you actually kick the ball off. So not a good day to be a kicker on Washington. Yeah. Maybe he hurt himself on that run. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh shit. Okay. So the kicker slid on that 2-point unconversion, and then actually literally slid and fell down on the kickoff there, landed on his head. Yeah, right.
Ooh,
yeah, they're gonna have to check him out on that. Usually in a case like this, if he's
he just looks like he's been having a rough couple last plays.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, just getting.
That field in Washington is one of the biggest jokes in the league.
Sure.
Like every single game, there's somebody getting hurt, on or slipping on some wet or missing a patch.
But 32 seconds left to play at this point. Russell Wilson 8 for 11, 145 yards and a TD. Not a bad first half overall.
So it's still FedEx Field, right?
Yes, it is.
That's why they're the Washington football team, because FedEx was about to pull the sponsorship.
Yeah. Well, it used to be, if you go back far enough,
who needs to step in? Good old Papa Bezos. Amazon buy the rights to that.
Well,
Bezos doesn't own a sports team, does he?
No, but he did pay for him and Amazon did pay for the naming rights to the arena in Seattle. He chose to call it Climate Pledge Arena because
for Kraken.
But it is actually Amazon that owns the.
Okay. Well, I just read the Red Sox just bought the Penguins today.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Wait, what?
The Red Sox.
Yes, the Red Sox bought the Penguins.
So now LeBron owns the
Boston.
Penguins.
So the Boston Red Sox bought
the Boston Red Sox ownership group.
So Fenway,
the ownership group.
So the Fenway Sports Group, which also
Fenway Sports Group. Yeah.
So the Fenway Sports Group,
that means
the Red Sox.
That means LeBron has the Penguins, the Red Sox, and Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Liverpool, yeah. Man.
Now there's an old saying there: "Go broke, go woke, become broke." But I don't know. I mean, I've never had a problem with Washington changing their name. I do wonder if the Fighting Irish, I don't know, from my Irish side, should be changed to something else, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Well,
I haven't really heard anything with that.
I don't think it is because it was a name chosen by the Irish community because they were not allowed in as Catholics into any of the other.
Yeah, I think the religious aspect.
By the way, Obie, this will make you very happy here. We got a 4th down and 1, 23 seconds left, 38 in their own 38-yard line.
Oh, and they're going to finally go for it.
They are going to go for it. And they're calling.
And they are 1 for 6 last in the NFL on 4th down conversions. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Probably because they haven't tried it enough.
This would be great.
Well, it was only 6 tries, so yeah.
Yeah. Try it some more. You'll have higher conversion percentage.
1 for 6 is still pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, losses large numbers. That's totally the incorrect use of that term, but that felt like fun to say.
And they don't even get the playoff.
Yeah, so say Levy, but most fourth down attempts in a season was the Eagles with 35, the most since 2017. So.
Speaking of the Fighting Irish,
not the stat I was looking to try and find, by
You
the way,
said
but it came up
2017 was the most?
since 2017. The Eagles lead the league in this time with 35 in a season. It was not the stat I was trying to find, but it just came up, so I figured I'd mention it.
35 times in one season, that's more than twice a game.
Yeah, basically.
Well, that was Doug Peterson's style. He was a go for it guy.
That's right.
Cowboys and Giants were tied at 31 though that season.
Yeah, see?
That's not surprising at all.
The Giants are playing for behind as much as they are, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Let's see. Let's go back to 1990. Since 1990, 39.
You mentioned the Fighting Irish before. Apparently, Brian Kelly is leaving for LSU.
He is.
That is correct.
That has been confirmed.
How it used to be that the only reason that you would leave Notre Dame is if they fired you or you were leaving for the NFL. I don't remember the last time that somebody left, that somebody resigned from Notre Dame for another college job.
I don't remember, honestly, the last time somebody retired from Notre Dame. Like Lou Holtz?
Lou Holtz was a semi-retirement. But I think he retired, was off for a year and then came right back for South Carolina, I think, was where he coached after that.
But, all right, so we're at halftime at this point.
That's got to do it for me, gentlemen.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of riding tomorrow.
Yeah, extra early tomorrow, but Thursday, all 4 quarters.
All right, very good, sir.
What is the Thursday game this week?
Enjoy the rest of the game.
The Saints and the Cowboys.
Later, Ben.
So, have a good night.
A game with no matter what happens, significant, good or bad, will have significant playoff implications.
Oh yeah, and as we mentioned before in the beginning of the show, Dan Quinn will be taking over the play-by-play.
I hope she means God bless.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Probably.
You know what? God bless or godless. It's okay. I'm either, but yes, same to you. Thank you. So whatever your God may be, whomever your God may be, but thank you. I appreciate it. You've been good tonight. Come on back anytime. So, okay.
McLaren has 3 points in ESPN fantasy value so far.
How much?
3.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that back up. Dude.
So despite McCaffrey's injury, I'm still up 9 for now.
And we did not mention that too, the fact that McCaffrey is out for the season again. So
another example of why you never pay big money for a running back.
Yeah.
Never.
But he himself also did those Amazon commercials.
No, your Amazon commercials are good. That's what you do. That's, But yes.
Right.
Don't waste your high draft capital.
Yeah, you never draft a running back in the first round again, ever. That's
are you
really.
Are you looking specifically at my team right now?
Well, the Giants and now the Panthers with McCaffrey. The Panthers with McCaffrey. McCaffrey's been good, but he's always hurt.
Jacksonville with Fournette, who is great, but they realized they didn't need him. He wasn't working out. So they
Todd Gurley,
who was great for like 3 seasons, but
got the big extension.
Boom. Yeah. These first round
any
backs.
of the ones, Le'Veon Bell. Anytime a running back gets paid, they immediately go down.
Not Ezekiel Elliott.
Mm-hmm.
Not Ezekiel Elliott. He's been the only one in the last 10 years or so that I can think off the top of my head.
But see, here's the problem. So many players are taken in the first round right now that don't pan out in general. but there's an increasing run of second-round guys that are really starting to make a stronger impact. Maybe because who knows? Maybe there's not as much pressure on them.
Well,
That's part of it.
They also say, look what's happening in Tennessee. Look what Deonta Foreman did yesterday. I mean, he didn't win, but look what he did, because the offensive line makes the holes. And the stats that matter for running backs, we don't always get. How, yards after initial contact, ability to avoid initial contact. Those are the things that matter, not even your speed or your total yardage or yards per carry. When do you get hit? Can you avoid getting hit earlier than the other guy? And when you get hit, can you stay up?
Well, I wanted to ask you guys on this, on a scale from 1 to 10, how, I'm trying to figure out a better way to put this. How much for real are the New England Patriots at this point, on a scale from 1 to 10?
New England Patriots, for real? I'm going to say 10, meaning they are as real as anyone else in the AFC. 9.5, because I believe that let me change it to 9.5, because I do believe that the Chiefs have decided that they've come to play football again. So 9.5.
Okay. But you would be intimidated by that team the way they're going right now.
Yeah, I would be comfortable if you said, if we had like a pool, you only got to pick one team from the AFC, and I drew I drew New England, I would feel comfortable, as much chance of winning as anybody else, that my money was well spent.
Okay.
I think it comes down to New England and Kansas City.
Yeah.
Once they're firing on all cylinders, they, and actually wake up and remember who they are and the amount of talent they have. I think it'll come down to those two teams.
Here's where it's
getting better as the season goes along, which I had a feeling would be the case. Buffalo is fool's gold. That's about the only thing I got right in my predictions from the start of the season. was Buffalo stepping down a bit, and the Patriots, coming back and winning the AFC East.
So, I mean, I think the honest question I'll ask is: has the Patriots have 4 losses? They were all at the beginning of the season, and was any of them to who did they lose to? I think they lost one game to the Dolphins. They lost to the Saints when the Saints were still good. And they lost to the Cowboys when the Cowboys were hot and playing them. Yeah. I mean, they don't have a horrific – that Dolphins loss before the Patriots knew who they were with a rookie quarterback is their only bad loss of the season. And they did not lose when people started thinking they were good. Every other good team has lost as soon as you thought they were good.
Yeah, smacking around the Jets twice is good for what ails you.
Yes, it is. Hey.
But in this case, in the 6-game winning streak that they've had, they have only given up more than 13 points one time. So that defense has been very strong, and Mac Jones is showing us for real. What I found really interesting about this is playing against Tennessee. Tennessee had the best record in the AFC, but we're still a 7-point underdog going up against New England and got crushed.
Well, don't forget, people know that the Tennessee Titans, when they're placing their bets, do not have Derrick Henry. And
true.
Patriots were home. So that spread was accurate. Right?
But how often do you see a team with the best record in the AFC be a 7-point underdog?
When their MVP candidate is down and gone, I suspect a decent amount. And
they're playing on the road against a team that has won 5 straight.
Had won 5
straight. The Titans also lost to the Jets earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Granted, both Henry and the receiver were out. I'm drawing a blank on.
As they were against the Patriots.
Yeah.
Brown and Henry were both gone there. So it wasn't like the bettors were not looking at what was going on and going, well, yeah, they may have been winning, but there's nobody on the team. The 2 most important players on the team are gone. And they still ran like heck against them. They put the ball on the ground quite well.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to come back without Brown to catch the ball. But look, the thing I like about the Patriots, it's obvious they're Bill Belichick coach team. They're not losing games they're not supposed to lose. When they get to play Kansas City in the playoffs, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to find out for real. They get 2 games against Buffalo in the next 3 they play.
That's where we see that will decide the division.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And we'll find out if the Bills are a paper tiger or if the Patriots are the paper tiger. I
think they split.
Plausible.
Yep. And then the Patriots have the Colts. So the Patriots could lose that game. I don't know who the Colts are. A lot of the problems with a lot of these teams is I don't know who they are. I don't know what the
parity is mediocrity.
Yeah.
None of these teams are really jumping out at me. And mediocrity, it's like there's been so much chaos, and the quality of most of these games has not been that good.
Yep. And I think mediocrity favors Mr. Brady.
It does.
It probably does.
Because that's a mediocre team, but they're gonna, get matchups that favor them, and they're gonna get through the playoffs now. Because right now they're not trending to the number 4 seed, which I said was the way that Brady had to get rid of Brady was you have to make him play 3 games against good teams, and presuming that the Rams are a good team, as good as we're going to get in the NFL this year. Now they're not there. The Cowboys are at 4.
Here's the thing: I've watched the Rams twice this year. The game that we did and yesterday's game against the Packers. I was not that impressed with Stafford either time. Stafford has made his entire career running up numbers against teams that were worse than he was. But again, feasting on teams of losing records. But when they play teams that are better than them, they rarely whether the Lions before or the Rams now, they rarely step up to the occasion and beat a team that is better, that is clearly better than them.
Yeah. Wow. I'm looking at the stats right here.
Yeah, it's insane. If you look at the stat splits and the records through Stafford's career, it isn't a one-off. It's his entire career.
Actually, these numbers. Okay, since entering the NFL, this is Sports and Fitness Digest. Since entering the NFL in 2009, Matt Stafford is 8-67 for a 106 win percent against teams that finished the season with a winning record. Holy shit on a stick!
Yeah, it's. I couldn't remember Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was 0-6 last year, 1-3 the year before. Again, though, that's what the Lions done. So he does possibly get a little bit of a benefit here. Now playing with
he hasn't been much better with the Rams this year.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't have to be. He's with a better team.
He does. We have
in order to win the playoffs, you have to be.
We saw him make that horrible throw in the end zone for the interception, as opposed to taking the safety for the pick 6. I think that was the 3 of us. That was horrible.
Yeah, that's right.
He then made the same mistake. He made basically the same mistake the next week for a pick 6, and then he threw a pick 6 this week. That's Stafford is looking. He's looking.
It might be enough to make the playoffs, but with how the Rams have performed against better teams this season. And even and as we've seen, the Titans now, that we were just talking about, we don't know what to make of them. The Titans, without Henry, shredded the Rams.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at his numbers here. I mean, for 2021, Indianapolis, he beat Indianapolis in week 2. Beat Indianapolis. Week 3 beat Tampa. Week 4 lost to Arizona. Lost to Tennessee. Lost to the 49ers. Okay, so yeah, the team's on a slide now. By the way, nobody beats Green Bay at home.
We are going to get them in 2 weeks on a Monday night. We'll probably be doing that show. We'll probably get to, I would imagine at that point, Mighty Mouse and Nook will be back. They may not.
I hope so.
They may not be back this week because they're playing the Bears. And we'll see what the Rams are. I mean, because the Cardinals are.
Can't rely on Daniel Jones as my starting quarterback. I need Kyler Murray back.
I'll do what I can for you.
Thank you. I appreciate the effort. But to give an idea on this, and this is one of the numbers that I ran for Stream Punk Sports on the YouTube preview, Aaron Rodgers for his career is 86-21-1 at home. He is 55-50 on the road. So that home field will be the determining factor on whether or not he gets to the Super Bowl or not. He's currently 3 wins behind Dan Marino for 7th all time at home. But you see such a massive difference there. like a 540 win percentage versus like an 800 win percentage, even better than that.
I mean, a lot of that plays into the general. The Packers were borderline invincible at home in November and December for decades.
It's cold as crap.
Because you need to play in Green Bay in December, and that's awful. That was where there was only a handful of times that the Packers have ever lost at home in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
One was to the Michael Vick Falcons, and one was the Giants NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that the stats on Favre were similar. Like it was, oh, he never loses at home in the playoffs. Then he never loses at home under 42 degrees. He never loses at home. Like it may be the biggest home field advantage because it's outdoors and cold. Because Minnesota gave that up.
Minnesota and Detroit are both in domes. So you got the Bears, fine, but the Bears are meh anyway. But 2 of the 3 teams that you have in your division play in domes all year round.
Yeah. Watch what happens with the Bears stadium situation. That has quietly become an absolute mess. Soldier Field is the smallest stadium by capacity in the NFL. They're kind of landlocked for any kind of renovation or expansion there. And I read an article that about a month ago, the Bears bought a parcel of land on a former racetrack out in, I think it's Arlington Heights. It's a suburb about 40 minutes west of Chicago. Watch how that pans out. So if they end up building a new stadium, would they build a dome or a retractable stadium of some sort? That'll be interesting to see. And that would make the Packers the only outdoor team in that division.
But to take it a step further, what happens to the soccer team? Because the soccer team plays a lot of their games at Soldier Field right now.
It's there.
I think they would probably. I'd imagine that they would probably stay at Soldier Field and then retrofit that into some kind of soccer-only facility.
Or would they just demolish it from land space?
But back to the Bears and in this situation.
It's in the middle of a city park.
We're talking about cold, but there's another factor that goes into it, and it's grass. So, yes, Green Bay has an explosive offense, but it's an explosive offense that plays on grass, knows how to play on grass, is not playing on turf. That also plays into that home field advantage. When you bring an explosive offense up there, if you're not explosive enough to know how to be explosive on grass. Now, a lot of that has changed as AstroTurf has gotten better and better and better, but still, was the greatest show on turf was in my lifetime, was in my recent memory. And that made a difference. You could slow them down by putting them on a natural surface, which is going to happen in Green Bay.
Yeah.
All right, so third quarter is now underway.
Yeah. I was trying to listen to the injury update on the kicker.
Yeah, I'm just pulling that up right now. Yeah, Twitter doesn't have an update on that.
Twitter
basically, they need to keep. Basically, if the kicker doesn't work, they have to keep going for it on 4th down. I'm sure Obie is so sad by that.
Watch them win.
Obie got the world's smallest violin going on.
Well, I do believe in field goals.
Kick a field goal. Good luck.
I do believe in field goals.
You have to use the punter,
but if you can't kick a field goal, then
drop kick. You go with a drop kick, man. Nobody does that anymore. Doug Flutie was the last one to do a drop kick.
Here's a fun random fact for you. Who was the last player to successfully do a drop kick in an NFL game?
I believe it was Doug Flutie, wasn't it? 2006. Jim McMahon.
When he was backup for the Packers in 96.
No, Flutie did in like 06.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because it was his last game of his career. And I watched the YouTube video like a month ago. And Bill Belichick, you see a rare smile out of his face because it's like the end of this guy's decent career. And it was a drop kick. And
a successful drop kick before Flutie was converted 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor on December 21st, Ray Scooter McQueen.
Scooter McQueen.
All right, so maybe McMahon, I think, was practicing it, but never got to do it in a game then probably was or he did it in a preseason game or something.
Yeah, December 21st, 1941. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so maybe, we can bring back the underhand free throw because it's more efficient, but let's not go with drop kicks
I don't know. I just find drop kicks just really funny.
because they
Drop
don't
kick
work.
would be more exciting. That would be more exciting than watching your average onside, attempted onside kick play these days.
Dude, maybe they should fix
Ooh.
that. Maybe just make the onside kick make that the new onside
Speaking
kick.
of kick fails,
Yep, fumble. I think Washington did recover that
It
though.
looks pretty
Washington did recover.
So, all right. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go 10-1 if you don't mind. So, be right back.
So now we're going to cover this game that you and I both have delayed feeds on, but that's okay. But I guess he's going to leave us just for the commercials.
Yeah, I think he just has to make a run for a minute.
Oh yes. That all important. See a man about a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What's your favorite euphemism for the seeing a man about a horse? Yes.
There's so many of them. I didn't even have.
This is why they don't put me in charge of the show because I go sideways so quickly. Let's start talking about bodily functions. I could talk about this commercial here with the DK Metcalf, who has been quiet this game, surprisingly.
He has complete zero. I just checked because I have McLaren and my opponent has Metcalf. I was about to ask if he was hurt, and I didn't see it earlier in the game.
As far as I know, he's not hurt, but he has been quiet. This has been a lock-it game, which sometimes, the defense says we're going to shut down one guy, and that's why you have 2 or 3 if you can.
And considering that the Seahawks only have 1, that's why they're 3-7.
Yes.
Which is sad times in Seattle now. Kraken aren't doing that great, which is not surprising. That team needs a basketball team again, though.
You got to pay attention to who is the next NBA team with an arena lease issue. That they try and nudge that they might nudge to move to Seattle. Which now that they've renovated, the Key Arena / Climate Pledge Arena, now that they have a viable building, I think that there will be a push to get Seattle team. I don't think they expand though, at least not for a long time.
Yes, that will be more Obie
happening first.
Will be going.
I mean, I don't have any insight or any true idea about expansion. I think right now where the NBA is focusing, air quote, expansion is to really turn the G League into something of value for themselves. So
no. Shit on a stick.
McLaurin.
Damn. Actually, that was not. Actually,
I'm still behind. I'm still seeing Tyler Heineke's mangled face.
Oh no, I just could sense what happened. It was only 20 yards to McLaurin. It wasn't like a touchdown.
No, I know, but technically at this point, I am up by just under 2 points. Again, want to point this out. My opponent has 2 players on the IR that are starting and did not start Fournette. And I'm still going to find a way to lose this week. Oh, God.
Well, that's a 3-yard play for me. That brings me, I'm down by 10.
That gave me
into that
2.5 points just on that one play because it was over.
I got first down and 20 yards. So, yes, that would be a 1 point for the first down and 2 points for the 20 yards. So, yes, very nice play. We can get another 3 or 4 like that.
12 minutes and 12 seconds left to play, 2nd and 10, or 2nd and 6. And now at the 49-yard line of Seattle.
Pretty much.
That'll set up a 3rd down and short.
Pretty much if Scary Terry can get in the end zone, I think I'll win. So let's hope for that. Oh, they didn't give me their first down yet.
The New Orleans Pelicans might be in trouble. Wouldn't be surprised if they end up moving to Seattle.
Yeah, that is conceivable. I mean, when there's something wrong with that organization, for sure. I mean, they chased out, Anthony, and it looks like what's his name doesn't want to play for them either. Well, maybe he's really injured, but he's always so hard to tell.
Zion Williamson he asks for an awful lot for somebody who can't stay healthy and is still on a rookie contract.
Yep.
And you're throwing deep and incomplete.
I thought Zion Williamson has been the most overrated player in college and now the NBA for over the past 5 years.
Zion Williamson reminds me in a way of
Greg Oden.
Not Greg Oden. No. The guy who actually the guy who leaped over the car in the slam dunk contest.
Blake Griffin.
Very exciting player, but not necessarily a very good player. Like, just exciting to watch, does things other guys aren't doing. Is he great? Mm-hmm. Difference is, Griffin didn't have as much trouble staying on the court.
Also, Griffin at least had a few good years of that before he ran into his injury problems.
Yeah.
His injury issues started in college.
Yes. And when you have a body that looks different than everybody else's, if you have injury problems, it's scary, right? It's like, this is probably because your body's not meant to do this.
And also, the way he plays, he tries to play like he's a big, like he's a big muscle seven footer. Like he tries to play like he's Shaq, but you can't do that when you're 6'8".
Right. 4 inches is a lot in the NBA.
Like he needs to either lose about 30 pounds and become and show more of his shooting abilities, or he's probably going to be injured and out of the league within a few years.
You're probably right, but as a fan, I'd rather he just keep playing the way he's playing. I get to enjoy him in flashes, and then somebody else comes up and does it also.
By the way, little by little, Washington is taking control of this game. Now, outperforming Seattle 20-4 in first downs.
The Seattle defense is a far cry from the Legion of Boom days.
Oh my God!
I mean, for everything that's being said about Wilson, it's a complete and total collapse of the Seahawks defense. This is the main reason why they've gone downhill so much this year.
Yeah. Time of possession 25 minutes to just under 10. Wow. Washington is taking control of this game in a huge way, and now they're inside the 10-yard line. That was about a 9-yard run. That defense is going to run out of gas soon. That's going to force Russell Wilson to have to start throwing the ball more.
Well, he's been finding Lockett. I mean, at least that's what it feels like. I don't know what the numbers are going to tell us, but it feels like he's been finding Lockett all game. 4 targets, 3 receptions, 96 yards. So throwing the ball is not the problem. I mean, Everett had that fumble on the reception. So that was one big deal. Dallas actually has a reception this game. But the rushing game has been atrocious. And so, not only are they going to have to let Russell cook, the statistics show that they have to let Russell cook. Another thing that happened to this team that really got underplayed is Carson getting injured, because so many people, myself included, like to talk about, well, next guy up on the running back. But there's still levels of running backs, and Collins and Dallas are not.
I have been burned by so many Seattle running backs in fantasy over the past few years because I've tried all of them at various teams, and none of them have panned out to be any good. It's kind of getting to the point where, aside from like the top 5 or 10 players, there's no serviceable fantasy options at running back. Because every team's splitting the carries 2 or 3 ways. It's basically whichever running back gets 50 yards and a touchdown is the leading rusher.
Oh, have you seen what Cordell Patterson's doing? I did, because I failed to start him this week because he was questionable. I would not be watching this game or carrying had I started him again. But yes.
And touchdown, as we were talking about a bad running game, McKissick runs for a touchdown.
Right. That was a good run, too.
Because why give it to Gibson, which is the guy everyone invested in?
And exactly this right there. One player will get all the yardage, then they'll give it to somebody else to score. So he gets it. So it's somebody who has barely any yardage, but the touchdown. So he ends up being the better fantasy player. But whether or not
They're
he's
going for
good,
2-point conversion here too.
but whether or not he's any good depends on whether or not he gets a touchdown that day.
Well, they'll be going for 2-point conversions all game.
And they got it too.
They have to go for 2 now.
Yes.
I'm surprised that they're not
days,
trying to have the punter kick a field goal.
Maybe he's 35 yards. When it was 22, it's a different ball game.
Because usually the punter is an emergency kicker for most teams, unless you have like a defensive back who was a kicker in high school or something.
And even then, that's a hard sell anyway because they may be out of practice.
Oh, hey, Gibson got the yardage and the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
But if we can just, if we could just find a way to get McLaurin into the end zone, that'd be great. Yeah,
Yeah. If we can go ahead and not do that, that would be great. Thanks.
I mean, as long as Metcalf doesn't,
here.
it's fine for me.
My shitty fantasy team's hanging on by a thread today.
And I'm in one of those really bad matchups where I'm winning like 70-60, and we are the 2 lowest scorers in the league this week.
So are you fighting for home last place position?
Yeah, but I closed the gap last week. I beat the team that was in front of me, so I'm now one game back instead of 2. So there's
hope.
He's winning his matchup by a ton this week, though.
All right, so you're gonna be back down in last place again.
So yes, I'm officially at the point where had I started Cordell Patterson, I would have won, even if I started him over Javonte Williams, who had another fantastic game. So that hurts. Or if I'd chosen Big Pat Fryermuth over Goddard, I would have won. So, I'm feeling a little burnt.
I mean, I had Chris Godwin, too, and he went absolutely nowhere today, or last night.
I think he had negative points in my league. In one league I saw.
You got me 2.7, but That's still not what you expect out of him.
Yeah, I got killed and DeAndre Swift got hurt pretty much. That's pretty much was the end of it. Right there, afternoon Thanksgiving game.
Mm-hmm.
That did me in. So I take it you do not get a commercial for the Peninsula.
I wasn't looking, but we have a Ramsey. I guess it's a Kia commercial right now.
Yeah, no, we are at the point in the day where we're getting our local commercials as opposed to national commercials. You can always tell when it makes that change. Scott's not getting this commercials anymore. And
basically, what I saw earlier was the first political commercial for the 2022 election.
Hey, Zerk.
It took just under 4 weeks. So, hey guys, hey Zerk.
Hey Zerk. Zerk and I were joking yesterday on Sunday. That's yesterday. We were watching the Giants-Eagle game together. And Zerk, every time he came out and punted, would tell me the kicker's name for the New York Giants. And, of course, my response was, it's never a good thing when you know your punter's name.
Well, yeah, when the punter's the MVP of the team.
But they did beat my Eagles because somehow they played great defense in the red zone. And that's setting the tone for this game because if you get the win out of the Washington football team, now the Eagles aren't even the team chasing the Cowboys.
No. And in this case, they would be, 2 games out of first at this point. I don't know how often Washington and the Cowboys end up playing each other.
I think they have one more. No, I think Washington has the Cowboys twice and the Eagles once.
Okay.
Yeah, so they got the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants. So everything's in front. NFC East, everything's in front of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure most divisions are like that. I do know everyone's last game is always a division game. That's on purpose.
Yes, but now that game's in January 9th, too. So, all right. So this is the chance, Russell Wilson and Entourage have to get this going right now. And that run play went absolutely nowhere very quickly. Let's see. Who do the Giants have going at the end of the season? They're going to Miami. Then on the road to L.A., at home against Dallas, on the road against Philly, on the road against Chicago, and at home against Washington. So they're not as crazy in division as the rest of them are.
Well, that's okay. They're just going out to get their losses in.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
honestly believe that my problem here with my delay is an Xfinity thing on purpose.
Could be.
Yes, Riley Dixon. Like, because it's just because when I signed into ESPN to watch it, I put in who my cable provider was, and it shows on the screen that I'm signed in with Verizon, Verizon, Comcast Xfinity, and that's why I think I'm behind. So yes, I can't do good streaming because of you, Xfinity.
I would wondered about that in this particular case. It's just whatever delay they've got going on.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And it would make sense because I got my local commercials.
That ball's nearly picked too. Russell Wilson basically throws an incomplete pass there, and now it's 4th down and 3. They were up. They probably will punt. Yeah, Wilson's coming off the field. I mean, so far he's 10 for 15 for 154 yards and a touchdown. So mathematically, he's been good.
Yeah, they lost when they punted and I left the room.
They just can't get the offense going.
It's been all downhill since then. They were the more dominant team since then. The only thing they've had good is the blocked kick since then.
Yeah, and that was 2 shock points and nothing else.
Yeah,
that's the only reason it's a 1-score game.
Right.
Yeah, we're looking at like 6:54 left.
It should be 7-17 because then the kicker doesn't get hurt and they're kicking the other extra point.
That's true. Yeah, actually, that kick wasn't blocked. He would have been injured. You blame the O-line for the kicker's injury. Sly.
Oh my goodness! The wide receiver was talking about a play. We better focus on him. It might be a diva moment.
They don't do that. Players don't go diva moments, do they? Nah.
I'm just saying, if it's a wide receiver, Metcalf was just talking to somebody like, hey, I mean, animated, but telling somebody about a play. Didn't seem angry, but they had to focus on it. Metcalf's, it's a receiver talking about something. You got to get our focus on it.
Listen, tempers are running high in Seattle right now because they're in a weird position where they're just not used to losing like this.
Yeah, they're in again. I think we talked about this earlier in maybe we had a Seattle game. Maybe we were talking about a Seattle situation. But does he hold on to his job, Pete Carroll? And I'm feeling like his job is slipping away. If they get 6-7 wins and they're just under 500, now that Russ is back, you go, okay. But now this losing has gone on even after Russ's return.
I think he stays another year, but I think he's on notice.
But do you keep Carroll if it means you're going to lose Russ? If your ownership, the GM, if Russ says it's me or him?
I don't know.
Because
it's hard to.
It's hard to say, but that's a legitimate possibility that comes down to it's him or me.
Yeah.
And
if they let go of Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson may still want out anyway.
Well, right. And if it's him or me, that's one thing. If it's not him or me, if I'm going no matter what or I'm staying no matter what, then maybe Carroll gets to stay. Mm-hmm. But if it's a him or me situation, I think you choose Russ.
You'd have to, but from a lot of different vantage points, most notably the attendance. Russell Wilson will bring people into this, even with a bad season, he can still bring fans in.
Right.
Pete Carroll can.
Right. And that's what a player does for you. The coach doesn't do for you.
Yeah. Heineke is off to basically a great start, 20 for 27, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, but 8 different receivers, and they have a chance to pad the lead here. So as we're sitting with just under 7 minutes left to play, flag just came right off the line, so they never even got
7
to play.
minutes in the third, you had me nervous there.
What's that? What did I say?
You said 7 minutes left to play. I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah, in the third, yeah.
When I say me, I mean, I missed a whole quarter of football. I was like, well.
Yeah, by the way, the game is over at this point.
Yeah.
This is week 16. I know your TV is a little behind there.
Yes, right. You're like,
but yeah, penalty. Yeah, Seattle's 5 penalties for 46 yards right now, and Washington 22 first downs to 4. which also, when you think about it, they've got that kind of, a lopsided number, but are only up by one score.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because you have to remember the beginning of the game, Seattle looked like the better team.
Yeah.
And they were doing their Seattle bend, don't break defense and getting things done that way, the way you want to, stopping them after a few first downs.
Yeah.
There's a run.
Yeah, second and third, 6:19 left to play in the third quarter. Kind of popping along at a good little pace here. We're only 2 hours into this.
Yeah, football.
And that does it right there. That's going to basically give me the loss.
Oh, how many did he get?
He got like 9, I think, on that.
Oh, that's not going to give me a win.
Oh, wait, no. Technically, I'm still winning by 0.26 points. So one single catch would be enough.
I got it. So did he get, let's see, it's a second and 13. So he's not going to get me a first down. So he's only going to get me 0.1 points here.
It's not so much that I lost. It's the fact that I lost to a guy who literally started 2 guys on the IL and won only 1 game all season. That's the part that sucks.
That is the part that's embarrassing. Yes.
Not bad. I'm going as bad.
But I need another one here. I need McLaurin to get a touchdown because catches don't do anything for me. First downs matter, touchdowns matter, yards matter.
Well, Washington is punting on 4th and 1 here, so you're not going to get it on this drive. 5 minutes left to play.
It's 4th and 2.
Yeah. Tress Way is actually did the kickoff, by the way.
I thought they didn't have a punter. You got no punt. Keep Heineke in. Get that drink a man.
I never get pumpkin Rublik. DK Metcalf 0 targets tonight. Yeah, it says a lot about the team also.
Well, I think that says a lot about the way the defense is being designed here. Like that's what we were talking about while you were not around. I really think that the defense has been geared to stopping Metcalf because Lockett's having a game. So and I think a lot of teams have been focusing on Metcalf to take him out. The game we saw, he had the 84-yard touchdown reception. That was the only time he saw the ball. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I definitely think there's some design to that.
I think that's part of it, but if they're not even given – if he hasn't even been targeted a single time, there's more to it than that. Like, for them not even be trying – I mean, yes, it's locked. It's not like Washington has lockdown corners like Darrelle Revis,
True.
Yeah, in this case, but that says a lot about why the offense isn't going.
So, is it the website you're on that shows the guys who have targets but no receptions? Because not all of them do.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm pulling it back up. Sorry, I was checking the weather for tomorrow.
That's okay. I will go to. My app that does it.
Oh, good. Just let me look. There you go.
Which McLaurin's now up to 7 points under ESPN score.
Yes, he is.
Under ESPN PPR scoring, we're now up to 7 points.
Yes, I am currently sitting at 0.26 points ahead.
Ooh, the next catch beats you. What is PPR? Half point?
Yeah.
So one more catch. Basically, you need him to get hurt on the next play.
I need McLaurin.
You have a fumble, lose 2 points.
I need a fumble. I need a touchdown. Not a fumble. I need a touchdown from McLaurin, and I win. Still down by 6.7. Do not get points for receptions, but we do get points for first downs. But he doesn't. But Washington doesn't have the ball, so I'm definitely rooting for a nice touchdown drive here by Seattle to make them not run the ball and continue to have to pass the ball till McLaurin gets this job done. It's, by the way, would be a huge upset. I'm trailing this team in my standings by 2 games. This team was running away with the league until the unthinkable happened and Henry got hurt. So This is last year's champ. Lots of
Russell Wilson.
What?
Russell Wilson with a completion right there. Finally getting some yardage going. There's 7 yards there.
To Lockett or Metcalf?
I'm not sure. I was actually looking at some other stats. I just saw it in the corner of my eye.
I shall go to my live stream here. And it's not updated. Will Disley, my third choice.
Yeah, it's
thrown deep, and that is incomplete.
somebody in their production team must have pointed out that Metcalf hadn't done anything, because now they've been talking about him nonstop, not doing anything.
Basically, yeah.
For the past 5 minutes.
These guys actually,
that's a target.
They get fed so much. You know,
Does it count as a target if it goes that far over your head?
Well, he was double covered. Probably shouldn't have been the guy thrown to, but it was like, hey, he's Metcalf. Maybe he can pull it down.
Russell scrambling, trying to get what he can, and that ball is nearly picked again, but it's an incomplete.
Fewer than 50 receiving yards in each of the past 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Metcalf.
Squat today.
Longest streak of his career. I mean, not for nothing, his career is really young.
So if that brings up a 4th down and 4, they're probably
there was movement on the line in that play. I'm surprised they didn't call that.
They were doing well. You know, they finally got a little bit of momentum there, but again, that's going to put that defense back out on the field again. That defense is already exhausted.
Yeah. Wait, who's Riley Gibson? I missed that.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about Giants.
Yes.
When in doubt, left the
Yes. Because, when you know the name of your punter, it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Offensive linemen, punters, and any kind of officials or umpires. Usually if we know the name, it's because they're not good at what they're supposed to be doing.
Or they've been around for a long time. I mean, like Richie Garcia, Angel Hernandez, okay, fine. But, you see Ed Hockley, and his kid now, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But
no, I think you can know the name of offensive linemen. If they're perennial Pro Bowlers, you'll know.
But they're a little bit more.
So that's the top 1% of offensive linemen,
right?
You're Jonathan Vilma, and then all the rest of them.
Vilma was linebacker.
Yeah, Fredrickson was right. That was.
You're
probably thinking of Kevin Mawai.
Yes.
And Mangold and
Nick Mangold was another. No, 20 years ago.
Which Mangold and Mark Sanchez have a podcast, a Jets podcast now.
That's cool. Well, Sanchez is getting a lot of notoriety.
I just noticed that in my email recently.
Yeah.
Would you say you missed the conversations? And we'll go to the other Jet fan. Is Baker Mayfield today's Jets? Today's Mark Sanchez?
No, because Sanchez won in the playoffs.
So we're going that Sanchez was better.
Yes,
which is fine.
At this point, yes.
Which is fine. Which basically I think is more of support of my argument than dissupport. But yes, I would argue that is a fair reason to say no. Mostly the idea is there's a lot of hype, there's some noise, but it doesn't get done. But Sanchez did have two really nice runs, which I think sometimes get undermined because he was just a game manager, but he managed into two AFC championship games, which I think really he gets downgraded for one fumble.
But here's my question here. I mean, Baker Mayfield is due $18+ million next year.
Nope.
Yeah, you let him walk.
I think they're letting him walk.
They're already in on him for next year because you have to. So it's guaranteed salary.
Right. Yeah.
For next year.
I apologize. I'm not extending him. I'm not.
No, you do not give him an extension. No. I think at this point, you need to give him one more year to see what he has and bring in another quarterback for insurance. You know what the Titans did with the last quarterback who was this meh at this point in year 4, Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we just did. I mean, the Winston and Mariota who went 1-2 in the 2015 draft,
Mhm.
and there was a big thing of who would be the better quarterback. The answer is neither. Was the answer. Neither one of them, and they had both
None
had
of
the
the
same
above.
thing where they did their initial 4-year deal, they played out their 5th-year option, and didn't get re-signed.
Was there a later quarterback pick later in that draft?
Dak, I think, was that year.
No, Dak is with the other two, Goff and Wentz.
The other two 1-2 bust quarterbacks.
Yes. That wasn't Wilson's year, right?
No, Wilson was earlier. Wilson was like 2012.
By the way, I just want to point out that Seattle is still trying to run the ball at this point, but they have 9 rushes for 17 yards. And that includes a 7-yard run. So taking that out of there, you're looking at 8 rushes for 10 yards for the game.
They're daring Wilson to beat them, and he's just not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, Russell Wilson hasn't had bad numbers, statistically anyway. But I think at this point, Washington is just a stronger team. This is the chance for Seattle to finally get something going and burn that clock. Get that defense a chance to rest. You're closing in on the end of the third quarter. You'll probably get maybe 1 play, possibly 2, depending. But you're already bringing up a third down and long again. And Seattle is in deep guano.
I will say this: Baker Mayfield was better than Sam Darnold, at least. He was better than Darnold. He was better than Rosen.
Well, he's more recognizable.
The only real stud out of that group is Allen and Lamar Jackson.
There's a lot of rumors.
Lamar Jackson doesn't have an extension yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors in Cleveland though that Baker Mayfield has lost the locker room, and as Russell Wilson gets sacked, so that's going to be the end of the third quarter right there. They're going to have to punt again because it's 4th down and probably 13 or 14.
There was no other quarterback of that surpassed either of those two. The only other quarterback of note was Trevor Siemian, who we just saw recently throwing to DK Metcalf an 84-yard touchdown pass. Yes.
Okay.
A lot of classes get a lot of hype, and very few quarterback classes live up to the hype.
The 2013 quarterback class. Look that one up. The best quarterback in that draft was Geno Smith. The Jets are right. They're wrong.
Geno Smith, who will ever be known as that one guy who started for Eli Manning and broke the streak.
And that guy who got punched in the face and lost his starting job.
We've talked about that, actually. Yeah, the last time we saw him when I guess it was Seattle on Sunday night or something.
Yeah, it was a Seattle Monday night game. Where'd they play?
Yeah, I was extolling the praise of Geno Smith that night.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
That was the Saints. They were playing the I think that was the Saints game. That was Seattle, New Orleans.
But yeah, that was the game Geno Smith had started that we were.
Yes, because Wilson was still hurt then.
All right, so the top 8 quarterbacks in the 2013 draft, we have Tyler Bray.
Yeah, but none of them were. But the top pick was EJ Manuel.
Yep.
And that was pretty late. I mean, that was 16. As bad as they're talking about this quarterback class coming in, I don't think the first quarterback will be 16.
Well, also but Geno Smith had a lot of hype going into that draft. He was top 5 in a lot of mock drafts. That's why he was at the draft, in the green room and awkwardly sat for the green room for the entire first round. And then he fell to the Jets. He was still on the board when the Jets picked in the second round, and they snatched him up because he was first round on their board.
And then basically also in that pick was also Mike Glennon, current Giant backup. Who else do we have? We have Matt Barkley. I don't recognize that name. Ryan Nassib when the Giants picked him. That's right. I forgot about that.
He played for the Eagles and the Bears, I think, for a few minutes. Barkley.
For a cup of coffee, yeah. Landry Jones, We also had Tyler Wilson, Brad Sorensen, Zach Dysert. Okay. BJ Daniels and Sean Renfrey.
Landry Jones had a decent run as the Pittsburgh backup, which is essentially being a part-time starter behind Ben, since he's always hurt for a big chunk of the year.
That draft class wasn't bad. I mean, when you look at the actual players that were picked there, Eric Fisher, offensive tackles, number 1 pick.
Lane Johnson. That was just a very bad quarterback draft.
Yes.
Like the worst.
I didn't. Yeah.
All right, fix that. I'm going to just tweak that real quick. Save. Oops. And the punt is underway, and so is the fourth quarter. I think he's still taking the ball back out again. This is the chance, like I said, to really put the foot on them for Seattle here, because Seattle has lost so much time, can't get anything going, and time of possession is so absolutely in Washington's favor right now.
Ooh, hard hit on that punt return.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, time of possession 31 minutes to 14, and Washington has the ball back now, and in good field position too at the 44-yard line. Heineke back over the center and over the middle, and about 4 yards, maybe 5 right there.
So the year before that class, just because I was interested, the 2012 draft.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the quarterbacks selected in the 2012 draft.
That's the Russell Wilson draft, isn't it?
That is the Russell Wilson draft. So okay. He was drafted after Andrew Luck. He was drafted after Ruck. That was Luck. I knew there was a 1-2 that year. I just didn't know who it was. But he was also drafted after Tannehill. He was drafted before Foles, another quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
Foles.
And Kirk Cousins, who everybody hates, but, he's keeping his team in the playoff run yet again.
I remember how much Washington was ridiculed for taking 2 quarterbacks in the same draft that year, but it ended up being a pretty smart move.
Yes.
Yeah.
It worked out for them in a way. I mean, they didn't fully capitalize on it, but it should have worked out for them.
I mean, it did work out for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say that
Cousins got them to the playoffs?
Has played up to his contract with Minnesota thus far? I would say no.
No,
he's decent, but he's not worth the amount of money that he's getting.
Kirk Cousins did it like nobody else ever had before, and Jerry Jones was looking at Dak, realizing that if he didn't sign him this last season, Dak was going to do to him what Cousins did to the Skins and just keep forcing them to pay him. And then somebody was going to sign him for a ridiculous amount of money. So instead, he got only $43 million or something.
I was still very surprised that I think only because the outcry from the public got to be so much that Jerry caved and signed Dak to the big extension this year. But I think that Jerry wanted to go into the season trying to franchise him again.
I believe that was trying to happen. Yeah.
I think
third down and 1, by the way. Seattle with, I believe, the stop. Oh, that's a huge 3rd and 1 stop there.
And if you recall, that Seattle drafted Wilson the same year that they had signed Matt Flynn to a big contract, expecting him to be the starter.
Right.
Another one of many NFL quarterbacks who got an insane contract after a few good games as a backup. He had one. It was
truly only one game. He had like a 6-touchdown game. It was something crazy. But
he threw for like 470 yards or something in a Week 17 game where Rodgers was rested.
Right.
Washington, in theory, going for it on 4th down, but they are going for it. Run and get it, and then some, and still going down to the 20, and inside almost into the 15-yard line on 4th and 1.
Oh, You see what happens when you go for on fourth down?
You see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps? Okay, no reference to that? Okay. That was the TV edit for Big Lebowski when John Goodman is beating the crap out of the car. And so basically the F and the A line.
Yeah.
It's like, see what happens, Larry? You see what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps?
That's up there with I'm gonna get these monkey fighting snakes off this Monday Friday play.
Monday to Friday playing, yes.
Oh, there's a flag on that play. Did that actually negate the first down?
I wasn't looking too.
Yeah, that first down did not happen. By the way.
Yeah, all right. 4th down and 10. You got to punt it now. That's a huge, probably a holding penalty. That's a huge penalty right there.
Yes.
Washington is forced to punt.
Well, they're not kicking a field goal.
Yeah.
That's a pretty blatant hold too.
Yeah.
At least it's a hold at the point of attack on the guy who would have gotten to the play.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a bad hold in terms of it was obvious. It's a good hold in terms of, well, how else were you going to get the play off?
By the way, looking at the 2011 draft, since we're going back in time a little bit here, first pick in the overall draft was Cam Newton. So
were there any quarterbacks in the first round that year?
Cam Newton went first. Jake Locker was the second QB, taken 8th overall.
Yes.
Then you had Blaine Gabbert. Christian Ponder went 12th. And then at that point, that pretty much does it.
Yeah, that's Cam and a bunch of scrubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cam and some stellar talent that is where their best accomplishment is being married to an ESPN reporter who's more famous than him.
Second round, 3rd pick and 4th pick in the draft were Andy Dalton and Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, so what we know is that NFL executives are no better at figuring out what a good quarterback is like than anybody else.
I did say going into the 2018 draft when the Jets had the pick, I said the one with the most talent out of this group was Allen. I figured I thought that Mayfield was going to be the next Johnny Manziel because of how much of a cocky party guy reputation he had. Admittedly, he surpassed that, but he's still not that good. Darnold, I figured could go either. Was a coin flip and could go either way. We see how that turned out. The same way it has for every other USC quarterback, just about.
What's up with Manziel? Where's he? Did he do spring league? I think at one point.
I think he did football. He did AAF, I think.
Yeah, he did the Memphis Express.
He did the player control, the fan control football.
Fan control football, right. Which yes. I love that idea. I love the fact that the fans have to pick the plays.
Yeah,
I think if it can get a little bit of momentum, I think that could be the next Arena Football League.
Bill Veck tried that in the 40s. Where he did a manager for a day promotion, where all the fans got cards to hold up, for a situation, bunt or swing, do you hit and run?
Yeah. Hit the
3 and out, 5 straight drives. Wow, that's
punt. And in this case, Russell Wilson
tied the longest streak this season with themselves in week 4.
Yeah, and that pass went literally nowhere.
Was that first one the one that they punted on? I said, "Don't punt." It's 4th and 1.
It might have been.
That was one of them. One of them did say 9 yards. So yes.
See, that's what you need. Russell Wilson just took off on his own, picked up 12 yards there. You got to remind people he has legs.
He's got to remind people.
Which, by the way, I want to point out the Giants with the new offensive coordinator with Freddie Kitchens yesterday. They did more trick plays than they did with Jason Garrett. They still only scored 13 points, but at least they're trying.
Okay, look. So my takeaway from watching the Giants This is my takeaway from watching.
Slow clap there.
This is my takeaway from watching the Giants team play football.
Russell throwing deep, by the way, way down the field and almost intercepted again. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The Giants are racists. That is my opinion on watching the Giants because they have one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league, and they are not using him that way. They are using him as a drop back passer because the only explanation. It's the only explanation.
This show's going to get canceled somehow. I guarantee it. It's going to get canceled on Twitter. It's going to be the most press we're ever going to get.
Well, wait. I've heard. I can't remember who it was. It was a defensive
Do we
back.
need something stronger in this cup for this discussion?
No, there was a defensive back. I can't remember who he was. No, I was listening to a defensive back, probably Jeff Foxworthy.
Jeff Foxworthy is a defensive back.
No, oh my goodness, he's on ESPN. But he was talking about yes, NFL coaches are racist because he was in an NFL defense that put a spy on Byron Leftwich. And there was no reason to put a spy on Byron Leftwich unless you thought, well, he's African American, so he can run. And the reverse is happening to Daniel Jones.
I just think the Giants are just completely inept, and they're not using him to
right.
Maybe they're concerned about that, about that concussion too.
Maybe they're concerned about his health. But, he's an asset, and if you can't get the best out of him, you can drop him after 4 years.
He also fumbles the ball more than any quarterback I've seen.
Yeah, well, his fumbles are down this year, to be fair.
Yes.
He is getting better with that, but it's still bad. Ball control is still bad.
Oh, yeah. By the way, my wife loves it when they talk about ball control. She finds it hilarious as shit.
Now we're going to really get canceled.
By the way, Justin Fields has the most fumbles this season with 9. Second, we have a tie here, a four-way tie. Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, and Dak are tied for second.
I'm surprised Robin hasn't gotten in on the comments here too.
She's probably asleep. Usually, basically, she'll fall asleep on the couch up there and probably default to Law and Order. That's usually what her fall asleep thing tends to, or like one of these weird documentaries. Jared Goff right now, most fumbles lost this season at 5. Carson Wentz, Dak, Ben Roethlisberger, and Trevor Lawrence have 4. Yeah. So in fairness, Daniel Jones is better this year. Great? No. Better? Yes.
Better this year, yes. But the last 2 years were pretty bad with that.
Ooh, yeah. Since 2018, Carson Wentz has the most fumbles by a quarterback with 42. And also the most losses with 21. Daniel Jones, however, is second since 2018 with 20 lost and 36 fumbles.
You said Wentz or Wilson was first?
Carson Wentz is the worst.
Wentz was not playing for half of that time, so that's impressive.
Yeah. Well, by the way, we're talking about commercials that are on. I got Cars for Kids. I don't know what you guys got.
Carl's Jr. Or no, Burger King.
Okay. I got
BK.
BK.
That's better than Cars for Kids. So, all right. So, right now, since 2019, Daniel Jones leads both in fumbles and in loss by a wide margin on loss mark. 20 fumbles overall in 36 games. Carson Wentz is second with 15 losses in 33 games. I'm sorry, 33 fumbles, rather.
And they've played the same amount of games?
No, Carson Wentz has played 2 more. Daniel Jones has 20 lost fumbles in 38 games.
Okay, so this is from before Wentz. So that's an extra season for Wentz.
2019, since 2019 in this particular case. Yeah. Ironically enough, Deshaun Watson has the highest completion rate, though, 68.8.
That's not surprising. He was a great quarterback.
Comments that could get us canceled.
He'll end up somewhere next year. I can pretty much guarantee that.
I wouldn't guarantee that.
I think so.
You don't know if he's going to. I mean, you want to qualify that with if he doesn't end up in jail?
Okay, we'll go that way.
Okay.
Because he's still young. You can make a lot happen with a player like that. And they look. You can take the hit. I think a lot of teams would be willing to take that hit on the PR side if he starts winning.
So you have to sign him.
Mhm. The comment down below. Watson's alleged completion rate isn't why he isn't playing this year.
I wasn't sure if we could say that. I stopped myself from saying that.
So I don't know. I look. Obviously, the Dolphins were not comfortable signing him. So that's 1 out of 30. And Houston doesn't want him playing, so that's 2 out of 30.
Carolina apparently had some of the same.
He will get a job. I can guarantee he'll get a job.
Depends what happens with the legal system before.
No, I want to call it. I think he's going to get a job.
Because you forget the other thing is that you're going to hire him and then have to have him put on the exempt list. How many games is he on the exempt list for? And then who do you have playing in his stead? Because if he's on the exempt list, let's say 6 games, and you have someone you're comfortable with playing in his stead, then why have him not playing for 6 weeks?
Like I said, I just got a feeling in my gut that he will be playing.
I think he'll play too. I just wouldn't go so far as to guarantee it. I certainly don't know that he won't be in jail. I certainly don't know. And when things go like what was written in Sports Illustrated was pretty bad.
Yeah,
when things go public, it could get real disturbing.
Yeah.
20 cases of the same sort of just smut.
Obviously it's worse than a lot of them, but Roethlisberger overcame it. Michael Vick in his own way overcame it.
Rice did not overcome it. Rice did not overcome it.
Rice was also on video.
Right. But Rice was on video, and this is 20-something cases that may be on paper written out.
Yeah.
You could be right.
Antonio Brown's cases were pretty damn disgusting as well.
Yeah.
And there was video of him, I think, throwing a couch out the window into a pool or something.
Yeah, but that's, you know what? When you examine it in the end, that was him destroying his own stuff. On the other hand, Kareem Hunt, there was also video that was that could literally be argued self-defense against a weaker opponent, but he did get suspended. So video means a lot, is what the point of that is.
And if Zach Stacy was still in the league, he wouldn't be anymore after those most recent allegations. That was another one that came to mind with that. Greg Hardy is another one.
Yeah,
sitting at 8 minutes left to play. This game is flying along though. The game last night was almost 4 hours.
When everyone just keeps punting, 3 and out punt, and they're running it into the ground. So we could use that pass to McLaurin right now for a touchdown. That would be great. That would win you guys the game and win me the game. Just throwing it out there.
Doesn't win me the game. It loses me the game, dude.
Haven't you already lost though?
No, I think I'm still technically, holding on by a hair.
Oh, I thought he had a catch since then that put you over.
Let me see.
No, he had not.
Nope, I'm winning by a quarter of a point. So, now having said that, he's probably going to he will get Obie that touchdown on a 56, 57-yard pass play right now.
That would be perfect.
No, it isn't.
I really just
need to walk away happy here. I don't know which one.
I really just need a first down and a touchdown.
I'm winning because my opponent has Metcalf.
Nah. Well, yeah, you've been hearing crickets out of Metcalf today. But Washington is just running that ball down the field and just burning a shit ton of clock.
This is
at this point we're under 7 minutes, I think.
By the way, this is what they did to Tampa Bay. They kept at the end of the game. They know how to do this. They kept Brady on the bench. Like, you can't beat me if you can't play.
And they've controlled this clock very, very well today.
Yeah.
Washington should feel proud of themselves. Seattle, boy, if you're talking about Pete Carroll losing his job, I thought basically he would be able to keep it another year. I don't know. Do you consider making the switch now?
No, you do not make a switch now.
Okay.
But if this season continues to spiral and they finish, say, 4-3, if they finish something crazy like 4-13 or something like that, I could see Carroll going.
I think a lot of it I mean, if you're in a position that you have to choose, JD, between Carroll and Wilson, which one are you choosing?
I think Wilson's gone. I think Wilson's gone no matter what.
Okay.
I think Wilson's gone no matter what, but I think if you have to pick, you keep Wilson. If you're forced to pick one gun to your head, that's what you got to do it.
Okay. So, and that's why I don't know.
Trust Wilson. I don't trust Wilson at this point if I'm Seattle.
But he's still a better draw. We talked about this a little bit before as they run for another first down at this point. By the way, Gibson is now over 109 yards.
And a 2-point conversion.
And a 2-point conversion also, yes. And also additionally 35 yards receiving as well. So he's looking at 144 all-purpose yards.
Gibson for the first down, but I believe this is the play you just talked about since I'm behind.
So, 5:21 left to play. First down.
Yeah,
10.
I think Wilson has already made his decision and he's out of Seattle no matter what. It doesn't matter who the coach is. I think if there's he'll say either we suck this year, I need to change the scenery, but if they make changes, they'll say with so many changes, I don't feel comfortable here anymore. I'm out. He's out either way.
Yeah. And that's where I think the Giants have a shot. If they can figure out a way to restructure that contract to protect on the cap side of it, I think it'd be a really good fit.
Do you think Dave Gettleman is smart enough to do that? Do you think the Giants are enough?
Do you think Gettleman's going to be there?
Dave Gettleman.
He's rumored to be out by the end of the season. So if you got a new GM, I was talking to Brandon about this before. I think you came on. When you have a new GM, you want to make a statement. Look what's happening.
The new GM, I think, would do that.
Yeah, and the new GM would want to put his stamp on that team, and Russell Wilson is one hell of a stamp. And I think that would fire up again. That gives that team juice that they haven't had since Strahan.
Here's the one outstanding question. Like, we watched this game today, we're seeing what's going on. Wilson's 12 for 22, 161 yards with a touchdown. Is it GM? Are there going to be, like, if it doesn't happen, is it not where Wilson doesn't go to a Giants or something? Is it because there's a team that's going, it's not Carroll and it's not the offense, it is literally Wilson?
I think that there are so many teams desperate for a quarterback. Somebody will give them the bounty for Wilson. Which team it is, I'm not sure right now. Whether it's
also ticket sales and jersey sales.
There's at least 5 teams.
But Wilson has to be willing to go there.
Yes, but
which brings you to New Orleans. I think we've been leaving that out of this conversation. He said he wanted to go to New Orleans. New Orleans is an offensive-minded coach. It's a team that could use a better quarterback than Winston. Has some room to pay a quarterback, I believe. Because all that money that used to be going to Breeze, I don't think it's
despite yet another idiotic extension for Taysom Hill.
Despite
which I read up on that, it was basically just it's more salary cap tricks.
That's what I figured when I saw that.
By the way, that's the look you'll be looking at next year. By the way, I would say Seattle was able to stop Washington in this particular case, bringing up 4th down and I think 2, but plenty of field goal range.
The last Giant I remember wearing number 3 was when Victor Cruz was wearing number 3 in the preseason his first year.
They don't have a kicker for that field goal.
Here's the thing: I would do it anyway. I mean, use the punter if you have to, just because of the fact that you would be up by 2 scores. I would consider doing it.
McKissick is down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mike Glennon is wearing number 3. So, but yeah, again, nobody.
So, I mean, you say you would consider doing it. You would consider kicking with a guy who can't do that job more than letting 11 guys who can do the job go for the first down. That is how ingrained in your head that you have to punt or kick a field goal on 4th down. It is in your head. Like, you realize that.
I'm looking at this from the standpoint of making it a 2-score game.
If you don't have a
Against an
capable
offensive
kicker, then if you under normal circumstances, if you have a normal kicker, you take the field goal.
Boom.
Yes.
I'm all in with right. Keep going.
But if you have either a punter or no other kicker, then you have to go for it.
I'm not big on going for it on 4th down, and I think 3 or 4, whatever it is right now.
But you are big on going for it with a guy whose job it isn't to do that. Like literally, that's what this guy's job is not to. He knows how to kick a ball when he drops it. It's in the air, vertical. He can kick it a long distance without aiming it.
You realize
that
that
guy's skill set.
for most of these guys, you would probably get about the same results as if one of the 3 of us attempted to kick a field goal in an NFL game.
39 yards is doable. But here's the thing: 39 yards is doable for a punter.
And 3 yards is doable for an NFL team. Like you have 11 guys that is what they do.
Well, we're going to find out. And here's the thing: basically, one of us or 2, depending on how this works out, is going to look really smart, and the other ones are going to look stupid.
My bigger point,
even if you go for it and don't make it, you still are deep in Seattle territory, and Seattle hasn't done jack to move the ball all game.
Well, I mean, right now they're still tending to the players down at the moment. He's not moving. They're bringing the cart, I think, on this one anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, to me,
we have a few more minutes to argue and bitch about this.
No, to me, this just comes down to. Obviously, my mindset is usually you want to go is to be aggressive on 4th down calls. This just goes
Here comes the cart, by the way.
This just goes to me to your mindset of your old-fashionedness on. I'm very ultra conservative about not going for it on 4th down. Yes, they looks like he hit his head on the defender's knee.
Yeah, he is moving though, which is a good sign. So he's because I think he was down. Not moving and was knocked out for a minute.
Yeah, so if he's
not anything like that with a neck injury is scary, but him up in his neck moving, his head moving at least.
They could be bringing the card in just for safety reasons in this case, more than just.
Yeah, it's either a neck or spine thing or a severe concussion.
Right.
Yeah.
Either way, they know he's not coming back in the game. Put him on the board.
Up this season. Do we know if injuries are up or bad injuries are up this season?
They're so high in the NFL. Who can in any given year? Who can tell? Like I know there are statistics on that, but just it does as a viewer, it doesn't seem to be much different. I think there's just more in general and has been for several years, but there probably are more this year because of all the craziness the past few years.
I also wonder how having an extra game has kept certain players out an extra week. I wonder, oh, well, we got another week. Oh, like if you go to Arizona and keep winning, so let the guys rest another week. We're definitely going to make the playoffs. Let them rest another. You're at 88%. I usually let you play, but nah.
I think. By the way, I think Wilson would have been back 2 weeks ago if the Jets were contending.
They are going for it on 4th down and 4. Throwing over the top, and it is caught. Okay. It is caught inside the 10.
McKissick is fully responsible and moving on the cart, moving all his extremities, which is good.
Yeah, I saw him. He got on the cart. He pushed himself back.
All right. Yeah. Countdown to getting shit in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Snap.
You're pretty close.
Yep.
Just checking the clock. I'm just checking off on it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I really think
if you don't have a kicker.
and they said that they would not be kicking the ball. Like she said, they would had no backup kicker.
Yeah, the sideline reporter specifically said that, and that Rivera said we don't have another kicker. It's go for it on 4th down. So they know it's coming, and they still can't stop
it. How I feel most days when I do this show.
I feel that way. I'm the one just like, I have to keep arguing for this fourth down going for it. You're like, yes,
Here's what
send in the punter.
Now, JD did comments last night. I appreciate that. Obie, I know you're listening in a little bit later. But I ran the entire show on my own last night for 3.5+ hours. And the one thing I will say is that you feel a lot smarter when nobody's tossing trash about your decisions and what you're saying. Because you got nobody to sit there and critique you on the way, which is nice, by the way. You motherfucker should probably try and do a 3.5-hour show on your own, you know.
Didn't Obie do a sports center by himself one time?
What's that?
But that's only 1 hour, though.
What's that? Oh, no, sport. Oh, that's that. Yeah, you can do an hour sitting on your head. But a 3.5-hour show running this thing solo as Heineke rolls out, and he's going to try and take it, and he slid it. Wow, that was a long-ass slide. Down to about the 4-yard line. But that was like a slide in the mud type of slide there. Yeah. But it's kind of in a weird way.
You didn't even need somebody to talk to you about intermittent fasting to kill time.
One thing I will say is that when you do the game solo, you focus a lot more attention on the game itself, which works out really well for the audience who are not able to find out what's going on and want updates. So I found that to be very, very interesting. I mean, I had people from Peru yesterday asking me for updates and asking me questions on what's going on. And I think a lot of that was because of the fact that I had to run solo, so I had to pay so much more attention because I didn't have anybody to talk to but myself.
I guess we do need to shut up more.
Well, going forward, I would like to put a little more attention on the game, but the problem is the fact that we're off on time, you know. So there's I got 2:32 left here. Heineke's in, in the huddle and coming out of it now. You guys, I'm not even sure where you're at. So that's part of the challenge that the three of us have.
I'm looking at the three announcers.
Me too.
Okay, so you're about 15 seconds behind me right now because Heineke's under center and snaps now. They're running the ball, and they're going to stop him for sure this time. Oh, wait, no. No, they did stop him. Okay. We're going to revisit this again here.
All right, I've them huddling up now with Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Heineke's touching his helmet.
I have 9 starting quarterbacks since 2018.
2018, most in NFL. And motion, set, motion again, snap.
All right, so you're a few seconds behind me, even, Obie.
Yeah,
you're about 5 seconds behind me.
Yeah, I know I'm the
15 or 20 behind Scott.
By the way, at this point, it's 4th down and goal. They're at about the 3 or 4 yard line. They're at the 3 yard line, and they're going for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
So Heineke's
back. The Thursday games on broadcast channels versus the ones I have to run from.
It's on broadcast. It's on Fox.
Yeah, so that's usually less of a delay.
Yeah, but it depends on what the broadcast system is. So for me, it's Optimum. Obie, I think you said you had Comcast.
And I run off the good old rabbit ears for those games. Mm-hmm.
Hey, I worked off those 15 years ago. It's really hard to get a signal on that.
I think it depends where you are, how close to the city you are. I'm close enough, at least, that on one side of the house I get a better signal.
I will be trying to watch it through the internet again, as opposed to see if what's that game on? That's on NFL Network, CBS.
Sunday, or which game?
Thursday.
At
Fox,
Fox.
I think.
Heineke's under center, scrambling, throwing, and
touchdown McLaurin.
Not a touchdown McLaurin. It is a Washington touchdown, but it's not McLaurin. It's Thomas. And he give the ball to the fans. That was nice of him. So I'm sorry for your loss at the moment.
Oh, that's if they get the ball back, they're kneeling it.
I think he's in the end zone with that. Yeah. 1 foot. Yeah,
no, he might be short.
They might. I think they're going to review it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to stand. Did he have possession though? Wow. Well, it was initially ruled a touchdown, so that's going to be tough to overturn that.
Well, they're going to go for 2.
Let's see.
Well, again, you may as well.
Catch 1 foot, 2 foot. Carter standing in the way in that angle, so you can't see possession. Here you go.
If it's a catch, it's a touchdown.
I think there's not enough to overturn that.
Yeah. The ball hit the ground though.
It did kind of shift in his hand a bit, but I think his hand was under.
Oh, no, that ball bounced. I think that's an incomplete pass.
Is there definitive evidence to overturn it, though? I haven't seen
That the view they showed before this one, the ball clearly bounced.
Also keeping in mind that Seattle is out of timeouts as well.
Okay, I see. There's an angle that I just saw. Yeah.
Right, this one, yep. Right there. Oh, clearly bounces. Incomplete.
But again, are they going to count? Are they going to go with it that way?
I think that this angle that the one he's probably seeing now is clear.
I thought that, yeah.
I think it's clear that it bounced, so it should be turned to incomplete.
I am never fully confident with certain things like this.
I agree, but I think there's enough. We'll see if the refs agree.
Oh, wow, okay. Thomas is pissed too. You can see the frustration on his face. I think they know.
Seattle's football got the 3-yard line with 2:16 left.
Seattle's football on 3-yard line with 2:16 left.
All right. So
Let's see.
now, if they'd kicked the field goal,
They obviously.
that would have been a 20 or 21-yard field goal. I think even a punter could make that one.
I think that you are
They did show
overestimating.
the punter warming up on the sideline.
Okay. For the record, I have done 25-yard field goals personally. My fat, dumb self has been able to do it. A punter who gets paid for it?
A punter does not get paid for it, and that is
But
where
he
you're
gets
missing.
paid to kick a ball.
The punter is usually the holder.
And then you have to have somebody else.
So who do you have as a holder then? So that can it also plays into it.
Backup quarterback?
Does he?
Backup quarterbacks usually aren't holders anymore.
Not since Romo was the backup quarterback and the holder came in and then held and dropped in Seattle.
Those weapons do not want to give him the ball.
The call was in fact overturned.
You knew the Joey Sly injury would come into play.
Oh, that's huge.
Because if Sly is
Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, I think it's ever since that Romo thing, I don't remember seeing a backup quarterback in the NFL as a holder ever since. It's always punt. I mean, it was even before that. It was mostly punt. It had transitioned to mostly punters, but yeah, I don't remember a quarterback holder since then.
Neither do I.
At 23 yards, whatever, we'll say 20, 23 yards, whatever it was, I think there would be a lot of players, if necessary, could have done it. You know, again, if I'm able to do it myself, you could have a guy who doesn't necessarily do it. I mean, remember, I don't kick, but I've been able to do it. So these guys, I think you find somebody who'd be able to do it in that situation. But irrespective anyway.
Yeah. So now the Seahawks can come back and with a 97-yard drive, yet they haven't had a single first down. And
they just got one now and got out of bounds. So, and actually, wow, they lined up fast. Washington wasn't even prepared for it here. Screen pass to the side. It's only going to pick up like one or two. Jump in the air and knock on your ass. No, but that 2 yards, but it burned 5 seconds off the clock. At this point, I'm still up by 0.26
I am
points.
so hoping for this touchdown and 2-point conversion.
I don't think you're going to get it. I don't think they're going to throw the ball again. All right, that passes over the middle for about 4 or 5 yards, but it brings it down to the 2-minute warning.
No, I mean,
Because here's the thing:
if you get the touchdown and 2-point conversion, then McLaurin gets another shot. Otherwise,
then that's pretty much all you got.
Yeah.
Because if Seattle stopped here, they're just going to kneel the ball down. It's going to be the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I said when.
Holy shit, I might win. My odds of winning have actually slowly climbed from like 22% to 46 right now, according to Yahoo. Yeah.
Mine was at 99% before with the. Let's see. Yep, I'm up by 13 points. It's 99%
Okay.
win percentage.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm hanging on by a thread and a half here.
Yeah, I hope there's no score corrections overnight.
Yeah, good point.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
they
some
actually
of the
the only
score
score
corrections.
correction would have been McLaurin. McLaurin would have been the only score correction we would have had because he's the only player playing today. But by the way, do you know who CJ is? Because I don't. JD.
Wait, CJ?
Yeah. He's Seton Hall. But
Wait, which one is CJ?
Tina, you fat lard.
Oh, let's see. I'm no idea. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Me neither.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But they went to Seton Hall apparently.
Yeah, it's part of Rich Maxim's fantasy league.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I may actually be able to pull out a win.
That's
despite
Chris
the fact of
Johnson.
doing everything I can. What's that?
It's Chris Johnson.
Exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, CJ, our old high school gym teacher, CJ.
Yes, actually,
Yeah.
but that was Coach Johnson.
Yes, but he always went by CJ.
Yes,
Neil, I think his real name was Neil.
yes, and it was. He recently passed away.
I did hear that in the last year or two. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my driver's ed teacher too.
Yeah.
The only time I ever had him. He was like that one fun teacher that one fun gym coach that everybody had, and of course I never did. I had him literally just for like the one thing for driver's ed, and then never again. Yeah. All right, so Seattle's hanging on by a thread right now. I don't know what their win probability is, but it probably ain't that damn high.
He was my wrestling coach, so
Makes sense. Yeah, he was the wrestling coach too.
yeah.
All right, 17-10. 2 minutes left to play at this point. 3rd down and 5 in a very obvious non-punting situation.
To DJ Dallas, 21 for 4 yards.
Still waiting to snap that ball. There we go. All right. Throws over the middle and finds the ground. And gets a flag, though. So just enough to be able to keep things going. That was a huge flag.
We'll take it. Hey,
See, Obie still got a shot here. You still got a shot.
all I need is McCoy to score a touchdown. So the only way it's going to happen is if the and I don't care who gets it on Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pass interference on Cameron Curl. So that's a huge pickup right there and puts it to about midfield. So 156 remaining. They would still have to get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, there's a long way to go here.
Oh, yeah. And you could probably afford to throw a couple over the middle, too, because you're at the 40-yard line. You got another 60 yards to do. You can afford a couple pass plays over the middle right now with the amount of time that you have left on the clock. 156, and we are Nope, we're not snapping yet.
I think, you do get a few. You can spread the field out a little bit.
Wilson scrambles, and Wilson gets sacked. Not just sacked, but a literal shove sack. Shove sack, baby, shove sack.
Shove that out of bounds?
Quickly getting under center. So, why is Central Casting sending me availability now at 11 o'clock at night? Yeah. 132 remaining, 2nd down and 19. Throw under center. They're going to pick up most of it coming back, but still going to be at 3rd and 8.
Okay, so that's what a shove sack is. Okay.
Yeah. Central Casting has Law and Order needs people. All right, can't do it. Shove sack, baby shoves. 3rd down and 6, 1:10 left in the game right now. Go to the sideline and caught and out of bounds for the 1st down by Metcalf. There you go. There's your Metcalf. That only burned 4 seconds off the clock and got the 1st down and out of play as well.
At least they're making it interesting in the end here.
Just thinking the same thing, yes. Slows the game down royally, though.
So glad that they finally decided to make it interesting when I'm finally tired and ready to go to bed. Like, thank you for making it interesting now.
Wasn't I just finished saying that this game was flying along, and now we're 1 minute away from 3 hours into the broadcast? Collins is on the ground.
3 hours is
Washington.
a fast NFL game these days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like I said, yesterday was about 3:45, I think it was. But Washington's forced to take a timeout here because of the injury.
And another injury. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So 102. He's walking over on his own power, but he's a little gimpy.
That's a big deal. Not just for this game. This is a Washington team that's trying to make a run here.
Yeah, Landon Collins.
Landon,
talking about Jamal Adams with the Jets. Landon Collins in some way with the Giants.
Landon Collins. I mean, they call him a safety, but he's been playing linebacker all game.
He was walking under. I think he'll be okay. I think it's just more of a precautionary. Maybe a week or two though.
Who knows? He could be back next play. If he's walking off on his own, but obviously this guy missed a play.
Incomplete. The defense is starting to really put a lot of pressure on Wilson right now.
Oh yeah,
he's getting hurried a lot more at this point.
This is a team without Chase Young, and they're still getting pressure.
Yeah,
and Jonathan Allen's a monster. Maybe we can get a fumble recovery for a touchdown and give me a win.
And throw that ball for you, man.
Oh, that is another game. One of my other games where I have like zero expectations of winning would have required some super freaky things to happen, and I don't even think that the sack fumble recovery touchdown would do it.
That was a bad decision to complete that pass over the center. They only picked up 4 yards and burned off about 15 seconds in the process. Wilson over center again. He is probably they got the first down, but now you're down to 32 seconds. You're going to have to spike the ball at this point. You are in Hail Mary range easily. You're at 32 to 33-yard line. They're not going to spike the ball. Takes it. He's throwing for the end zone, and there's your touchdown, sir. There is your touchdown. There, yeah. Wilson's holding up 2, saying they're going to go for 2. Well, yeah, no shit.
Well, thank you, Captain Obvious. Yeah, I disagree with you. With the 30 seconds left, throwing it over the middle was fine. Taking advantage of the fact that you were getting that and getting the first down again, another set of downs. They weren't as harrowed. But look at that.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get the first down. You just keep moving and moving and moving. The other team's expecting you to spike it.
Shit on a stick. All right. So, like I said, this is.
And he also caught a break with the timeout from the Washington injury.
Huge. Yeah. That was a huge break.
Yeah. In this case, right now, it's the first 2-point attempt this season for Seattle.
Don't even get me started on how much more often teams should be doing too.
Wilson's got a lot of time over center. The pass is incomplete or picked. I don't know which one, but it doesn't even matter.
Nope.
So that's huge right there.
Well, that's the game. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. I mean, I guess theoretically you can get it, but boy, it's.
Yeah. And then, of course, you got to get down, 20-some-odd yards, 35 yards immediately. You got a shot at a field goal. You do have a kicker that kicks, although he's been remarkably quiet today. Yeah, good coverage all around on this by Washington.
Yeah, he had a nice pocket. We should have scrambled. I mean, I'll wait to see the play. If you tell me everything was nice covered.
Yeah, but they really had good coverage. He might have, in hindsight, the only option he would have had would have been to run the ball, but I don't blame him for trying to throw that pass. Heineke's just a wealth of emotions there, taking the hat off in frustration, hats back on, celebration. Okay.
No, he had somebody breaking wide in the corner.
By the way, I don't think you're going to get your touchdown. Sorry.
No, I'm 100% sure. The only chance I have, and I don't even know how the league would count it, is if he catches the onside kick and scores the touchdown. I don't even know what
or
that
Washington can get a safety in the next 15 seconds and send it to overtime.
Right.
All right, there's your kick, and I think they recovered it. Seattle's not done yet. Whoa. Oh, I love it. Dude, they actually, I know the odds of actually getting it are just slim to nil, but holy shit on the stick. They actually recovered, and they're at the 45-yard line, too. Oh, God, this is so cool.
Wow. I think that's the first time I've actually seen an onside kick converted in about 3 years.
Yeah, the Cowboy one a couple of years ago where it spun. I think it was last year where it spun, and the Atlanta Falcons just watched it spin, and the Cowboys jumped on it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So there we go. I'll say we had the official review. Oh, yeah, right over the shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I saw that when you know the interesting thing is when you know what the result of the play is, you're looking at things differently. Oh, I thought to get out of the way, it literally just took a bad hop on him.
False start on Seattle. All right, as soon as I finish editing that, I'm gonna have to take that back. Onside kick. I just finished typing that out, too. Oh, God, that's demoralizing as hell.
Ooh. That.
I was going to say, was that even off false start?
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation. Okay. 3 down below. That's weird.
What's the illegal formation?
Yeah, I mean, you lose 5 yards, you do it again, sure. But
I think it was I think they just said that it was because he wasn't lined up. He has to be lined up outside the hash marks, away from the kicker.
Jeez. Yeah, that's something that basically the special teams coach gets fired for. The chance that you actually got an onside kick successfully and you blew it.
Yeah, they called it because they called that penalty illegal formation because the one closest to the kicker's right was lined up inside the hash marks.
Now they got it right. Now they got it the way they need to. But setting up, and here we go. Now from the 30-yard line, trying to second time around. I don't think they're going to get lucky. They're going to strike lightning in a bottle 2 times in a row. There's your kick. And okay. I think Washington did recover this time because there's no celebration going on. Yeah, they got it. Okay, there's pretty much your final. Yeah, I'll just post that right now. Barring some kind of a miracle at the FedEx Field. We got that going on. Still a relatively manageable game at 3 minutes and under 10, or 3 hours and under 10 minutes.
Although it felt like the last 2 minutes took 30.
Oh, and then some. But Seattle had a chance. They almost recovered this one as well. That would have been a huge, like I said, lightning in a bottle. So barring the fact that Heineke does not successfully knee the ball down, which he just did, that's your ball game. And I won my fantasy league 100 by 0.26 points.
Excellent.
Oh,
we did not. It's fine for you. We did a poor job. So if you're still watching us, remember to like, subscribe wherever you are. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch.
Yeah.
We're everywhere.
I didn't actually promote this hard enough because I was doing too many updates and everything like that.
No, we did not.
Yeah, Stream Punk Sports. It's pretty easy. You see it down there. Look it up. You'll find it. Not too complicated. So that is your final. It is 17-15. Washington is now a second-place team in the NFC East and 2 games behind Dallas. Seattle has a ton of questions in that press conference that they're going to have to answer. That is going to be a messy press conference.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, any final thoughts?
Yes. My only thought is I am not going to be as bold to say Russell Wilson is gone because I just don't know if his problems with Seattle or the coach, and the coach can definitely be gone. That's all. I didn't get to say that while we were having that conversation.
So, Mr. Walker, how about you? Any final thoughts?
This is that statement about second place in the NFC East. especially after the Eagles blew an easy chance yesterday. That's huge,
Yeah.
But
And,
the
like I
Eagles
said,
should get right back on track against the Jets this Sunday.
but Washington is suddenly a team to maybe be a little bit afraid of. This is a huge win, not a great win, but a huge win just the same. And it's putting a little bit of pressure on Dallas to win on Thursday night. But anyway, we're going to call it at this point because a bunch of us have to get up early in the morning. But we will be back on Thursday night for Thursday Night Football, reaction, rambling, and commentary, Stream Punk Sports. That will be America's team, Dallas, playing against the New Orleans Saints. So join us right here on whatever you happen to be looking on, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, whatever suits your fancy. Drop us a message, comments, ideas, thoughts, comments, complaints. I'm Scott Schertzen. That's Mr. JD Walker. That over there is Mr. Obie Spencer. Have a great night. Take care.